everyone, welcome to another episode of Synth Geekery. It's episode 214, if that makes your life better, now that you know that. They're just numbers. Big welcome to everyone who's joined us on the show. We've got two big black squares below us. I think we might have some spaces to fill down there, so we'll work something out. Anyway, we'll play with this, the video feeds. We've got plenty of people over on StreamYard, so StreamYard's over here. There is still more spaces on StreamYard if you do want to join us, and the link to StreamYard, I'm just going to pop it into the chat in a second. We also have Darren and Andy, who's there. Now you'll notice that Ian's popped over to StreamYard, so that's why there's one of the blank squares down the bottom, because he's somewhere else. He's not where he's normally. We also have awesome chatties, so big hello to your chatties. We're gonna get through to everyone. So if you are watching this right now live, please jump into chat and introduce yourself. Say hi, say where you're from, and tell us what's your favourite synth or what's your favourite drum machine or anything like that, and how you got here, how you found us. That'd be cool to know. Right. So today we are going to talk about wireless MIDI. Wireless MIDI. It's going to be an interesting topic. So how we're going to approach this is how we usually approach things on this show, and that is from your point of view, as if you've gone to the shop and you've bought a wireless MIDI device and you want to sort of get it connected and sort of see how it works. Now, I've got myself some wireless MIDI things here, and we're going to definitely check those out. I haven't opened them yet. I haven't tried them out. So this is going to be just as interesting for me, and it's probably going to be a train wreck like it usually is, as it is for you guys. So we'll do check that out. Now, just a couple of housekeeping things before we go and say hello to everyone. Don't forget, we have buttons. Where are we? StreamYard. Oh, that's Discord. We'll do StreamYard first. StreamYard link is there, which I will paste into the chat in a second. You guys can, in fact, I'll do that right now. You guys can click on it if you want to join the show right now, literally. If you want to jump on and say hi. I don't even care if you're brand new, you've never ever been on before. Just click on it and do something new. By the way, there is Discord that we do use during the week, so there's the link there if you guys want to join the chat over the rest of the week. So this is not for now for the show you're actually watching now on YouTube. Don't forget to do the normal things that you do with YouTube, and that is the subscribe, the like, the share, all that nice stuff. It's kind of still important because that's how the algorithm works, and that's how people find us, and we can share the love around the world. So that's all. Sorry, Mike. That's how we do that. But if you really want to support the show, it's always a good idea to be a channel member, join below, or join us on Patreon, which is just patreon.com/Ranzee. So EE. For those people who are new. Right, let's say hello to our guests. We'll work out what we're going to do with the blank squares. I think Brooksy's decided he's not joining us. He wasn't sure whether he wasn't sure whether he was going somewhere else. But anyway, that's fine. We've worked it out. So we'll start with Henrik. Have you got give me a thumbs up if you've got your mic working. Sounds like you have. All right.
I'm not sure. How does it sound?
It sounds okay. It sounds roomy, so you're probably like using a camera mic or something, eh? Is that what you're using?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was connecting another mic, but the mixer, I haven't really worked much with that mixer directly to the computer. So I can't get it to work.
Okay. So. All right, cool. Well, why don't we start with you, and I'll go to Ian next. I'll just start with you, Henrik. So big hello to you. Haven't had you on the show for a little while, so it's nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a busy time with some diseases around here and some holiday, which was good and bad both. well, that's a private thing. But I've just had some accounting to do, and I really hate doing that. I have to do it twice a year, and I'm done with the part with the part that I should register, and now I only have to make sure the papers follows that. So that's where I am with that, and then I have prepared an album which will be released in 2 weeks from now, and
Exciting.
yes, I really like that album. I think it's much better than what I've done for a long time. So I have it on repeat here, and I usually never have my music on repeat. So something is different on this one, and I've been thinking of doing a release party, a live stream, but I don't know if anyone will view it. So, but but if I do it, it will be on Saturday, the 2nd of September, and it will be in the evening for me, because I'm at a birthday in the daytime, so I can't be on your show. So I will do it in the evening, and that will be around, I guess, 10 p.m. UK time. So if anyone wants to see it, yeah.
So people can see it. By the way, they can't see your face. Well, now they can because it's in the top right-hand corner. You can't see this here, Henrik, but they can. They're looking at your Expander album. What we'll do is later on in the show, we'll have a look at that. Okay, so we'll definitely check that out. I'm actually excited. I actually haven't heard it yet, so it'll be a first for me.
Yeah, but remember, you will get a copyright strike, not a claim, but a strike. Or is it the opposite? I can't remember. So you will lose income on the stream if you do it.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Now, next to you is Ian, who's popped in from his part of the world. Hello Ian. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm in a bar in the assembly rooms, and there's a show about to go in, so I'll keep my mic muted because there's lots of people I'm going to see shows. So it looks like this at the moment. So
nice.
Obviously back up in Edinburgh. Been traveling the country all week. Is that my mic that's noise? So yeah, nice. We're back seeing loads of shows. 4 shows yesterday, 3 shows today. It's all good. It's all good fun.
Fantastic. I don't know what that noise is in the
I'm
background.
mute again.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's me.
It's probably me.
Oh, okay.
Unmute.
It wasn't me. That's all right.
There you go. Fantastic. All right.
Sounded like moving cassettes.
Yeah, it did. I'll pop over to the regulars. We'll start with Darren. Hello, Darren.
Oh, good day. There we go. Good day. How's things? Not too bad.
Yeah, good.
I was at Blackpool Lehman with Andy last night, so it's been a late morning, or should I say early morning when I got back. So Andy might pop in a bit later if he gets back, but he was staying there and I was checking out workspace, whether I can make it for work. So we came back early mornings. I don't know what time it was. It was well after 1 anyway. So yeah, I was sent out by the purple one to scope the area out and make sure it was fine for him. So because I went out doing that, he wanted to release just a reminder track for the album. So that's already up. I think that came up about half hour ago. So other than that, yeah, I'm not sure what's happened. It's been a bit of a rushed week this week, and making time to go to the emo in Blackpool. So yeah, that's been my sort of week and day, and just sort of waking up from it. Luckily, I wasn't in work. I managed to get time off. So, but I had to judge the timing. But if I do have to do it, and I'm working the next day at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. Other than that, that's my week and day. And like I say, Raves, because he couldn't come with me. He wanted to, but I said no. He'll pull everything out on the E-Mon and probably wreck all the knobs to 11. I think. So he said if you're doing that, he wants a reminder of his album. So that's the video that's up, a new one. But you'll have to watch. You'll have to have a look at the album if you want the full track. It's only his video he wanted to do to show everybody one of his tracks. So yeah, other than that, everything's fine.
Fantastic. Now we will get. What I'll do is I'll get that up in a sec. We'll have a look at that YouTube channel of yours as to let everyone know. Just give me a sec. Well, just actually, I'll keep your mug there. Have I logged into YouTube? No.
My mug.
Yeah, ugly mug. Yeah. Just give me a sec. I'm just going to use a link that I've got here. Guests. Here we go. Darren's YouTube channel. Yeah. I keep records of things. It's important to do that, people. That's not it. It wants me to sign in. Hang on. Why does YouTube want you to sign in? Like it's just.
I don't know. I've had the issue for some reason.
It's just annoying.
It's a real pain in the neck, is that? Because I've had that more recently. You know, you don't log out any, but then you have to log back in anyway.
All right, there we are. Darren's channel. If everyone hasn't checked it out before, I'm going to post a link in the description below via the blog article. Each week there's a link to everyone's, but I'm going to post it in there now because I think why not? So we'll do that, and I'm also going to post a link to Henrik's. That's Darren's channel. Darren's.
I mean, look at him there. He's extra. He's completely out of it on the Palmer Violets.
Now, where is Henrik's album? There's Henrik's album. He could have probably done that himself because he's a moderator, but anyway, that's fine. Anyway, so you've got in chat, you guys have got that. You've seen Darren's channel. Awesome. Darren, you have anything else to add, or shall I go across to Andy? You good?
You can go across to Andy. That's everything,
Awesome.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Now, Andy's time. Yay. Hey, Andy.
Hey there.
Oh,
Black Logic.
Ranzee. That was an unofficial link, so I will close it down after the stream here.
I'll remove it. I've removed it.
It was only for you and for Chris.
Oh, sorry. I've removed it anyway. So.
yeah, but I'll change the link after the stream.
Oh, okay, cool.
So if anyone wants to listen and have it in their chat, do it now.
Sorry about that. I didn't know. Okay.
It's okay.
Andy, over to you.
Yeah, no, I was just waiting for you guys to finish. Hey, how's it going? Sorry if I look disheveled, worse for wear, all that. I haven't been to sleep yet, so I was up all night playing with telescopes, streaming issues, bad weather, you name it. So clouds kept playing with me and then going away, and then they'll be clear again, and then coming back, and so I just had some good views of Saturn, and then YouTube goes, yeah, I'm not going to show that. So I'm going to try again tonight. If you guys like astronomy, I have weather should be better tonight, I hope. So what I'm trying to do is live star parties on YouTube because no one else is doing it. So, and I miss them because pandemic screwed them up a lot. I haven't had one in Yosemite or any other place for years. And that way I can not only show stuff to people, but also capture some images and stuff too. So
awesome. Do tell people about it because I don't know if everyone knows about it, Andy. So tell them a little bit more. Like
yeah, I mean, for now I'm putting it on my. So I have a Meade Astrograph 8-inch Newtonian reflector telescope, and it's super fast, f4. If you guys know about optics, it's incredibly fast. So your standard like Schmidt-Cassegrain Meade is like f10. So exposures take a long time. You have to do guided exposures because your clock drive that tracks the stars, so you don't get trails and stuff, often has errors. So you have to sit there like a boring video game and correct it with your little paddle, with a little reticle, and it's like nobody wants to do that. So the new cameras and stuff are much faster. You can take faster shots, but deep sky stuff like galaxies and nebulae and stuff like that just need a lot of exposure time. Mm. And if you want to show color, your eye only sees them as gray because you're using your rods instead of your cones, because our cones don't have poor they don't work properly in dim light. So anyway, so the time exposures are great, but the problem is you have to guide it, or you have to have a really fast camera. So the new Nikon the camera I got has high ISO up to wazoo. So fast optics, high ISO, and a good clock drive. It's magic.
What sort of ISO do you need?
For planets, for planets it doesn't matter. But for I was just going to start testing galaxies last night, but I was just staying on Saturn, Jupiter, and some other stuff, and then the weather was just playing with me too much. And then YouTube, OBS decided didn't like the NVIDIA driver I have. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's great. So I'm in the field installing drivers in the middle of nowhere. It's so stupid.
Yeah, because
so I'm gonna get on my to figure it out.
I thought with ISO, the lower the number, the ISO, the more clarity you get in the picture, the higher the number.
You do, but you need that light gathering capability.
Yeah.
So
the higher the number,
I used to shoot Kodachrome 64 slide film. I loved it.
Yeah.
But you need to have a lot of damn light. So most cameras, most film was okay, like at 400 usually.
So what are we talking? We're talking 5,000 ISO or something really high like that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like 6,000, 12,000. You know, the cameras are really good now, like around 5,000 maybe, depending on which camera you have and what your settings are. But it goes up to 102,000 if you want.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of video cameras use high ISO too, so that they've got that tech from your video camera.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is especially it's a mirrorless camera, special sensor, you know, the whole deal. So I did months and months of research to figure out what was the best. The idea is to make people wait the least amount of time, so it's almost real time. So I'm guessing maybe like a minute exposure with some of the galaxies, but I'll find out. You know, I might be fooling myself, but some more to come. But right now they're on my music channel because I have an Astro channel I started, but I can't do mobile streaming from it until I get over 50 subscribers. YouTube's stupid like that.
All right, chuck the link. Chuck the link in the chat.
Yeah, chuck the link in because I like this one.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. So for now, I'll go to my Synth Addict for them. But yeah, definitely subscribe, and I'll start doing it from my other channel. Thank you.
Yeah. Do the new channel link in the chat so they can find you.
About camera for astronomy. Yeah. I'll start, then I'll give it to you. I was looking at a camera a year ago, I think so. A camera costing about $400 or $500, which had a motor built in, and it moved by itself to follow the stars. It could also follow animals. Yeah. But it was a cheap thing, and still not cheap enough for me to do it, because I don't know if I'm interested in doing it more than one time. So, but I was looking at
synthesizers. How much money do you want to spend, right?
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's keep going.
Yeah. And can you say that? Thanks for that message, Andy. And I'll get to those links when I get back to normality.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I just threw them out there. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I think we've got through everything. We haven't said a lot of the chatties yet, but I do want to say quickly, before we start saying a lot of the chatties, a big thank you to David, who's put 1999. That was a great year, 1999. But yeah, many thanks for that. And you guys can see that up the top there. So what he said was, buy some music. Fantastic. So I've loved that. So beautiful. Right, now, saying hello to all the chatties. I think the yellow Guernsey went to... Who was it? I think it was... JP Page 2 was kind of saying that he can't... I'm ignoring you, Henrik, because I know you were first, but technically you're on the show. So JP Page 2 was saying, I can't make it, but to have a nice show, have fun all. So shout out to JP Page 2, who will probably watch this on the replay. You wear the yellow Guernsey, mate. Well done. Then Robbie turned up. Big hello to Failed Muso. He's in the chat. Those who know him on the Pro Synth Network, big, awesome show that he does with a few other blokes. Nice to have you here, mate. And then we had ignoring the people that we've already said hello to. So I know you guys have jumped in. Future World Machines, big hello to you. Sync Coutron, big hello to you as well. Who else we got? Mad Cat Modular, awesome. Hello, friends, he says. And then Manny's there. Dr. Synth, big good morning from him to everyone. Inverted Popes is there. Big hello to you, mate. And one of our channel members, of course. So big shout out to that. Culture of Ghosts, awesome to have you as well. And Merbert's there. Haven't had Merbert for a while, but it's nice to have you. Neil Wharton's there. Same with you. Nice to have you. And scrolling down, we've got Matt Brown, of course. Nice to have Matt. And Lady Aptitude, awesome to have you as well. So they're all chatting to each other. Geert's there. Nice to have Geert. And Wagoozed turned up. G'day, he says to everyone. Apis Lapis is there. Nice to have you as well. Been a little while, I think. Yeah. So it's just scrolled off the screen. So let's just get to the end where just about everyone. David, I mentioned before, big hello to Dave, one of our channel members and great supporter of the channel. Thanks so very much again, David. So I think Brooksy's just jumped in too. So I'm not sure if we can fix this up, because right now we're covering up his big noggin on the chat. Let's see if we can sort him out.
Yeah. And I would like to say, oh no, he broke the internet yesterday.
He did?
Oh. Yes, he did.
How did he do that?
The stream went down while he played. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we were playing live at Emo and he decided to break the internet because everyone was dancing.
Right, let's move you guys over there. I have to crop a little bit of Ian off. Sorry, Ian.
Oh, you made it back. Hi, Andy.
I'm back. I'm not sure how long I'll be around or compost mentis, but I thought I'd just jump in. So if I decide to just clear off and go and have a lie down, please forgive me. Yeah.
Well, come and say your proper hello.
Hello, everybody. Yes.
Hello.
It's the day after the night before. Hi, Ian. Hi, Henrik. Hi,
the day after party.
I'm going to say at this point, it was a fantastic night. It really was brilliant. A really great venue, great crowd, and I was just sitting there and just sort of chilling, getting ready, and this bloke walks in wearing this sort of hoodie, and I just sort of recognised it. It's 21. I went, no bloody way. And there was Darren and his missus, and I honestly I was chuffed to bits. It really put an extra little icing sugar on the night for me, that, because that's actually the first time that Darren and I have met in person. So that was lovely. Thank you so much. Yeah. So thank you, Darren, so much for coming along. It was a special treat. It was a good night though, Darren, wasn't it? It was buzzing. The place was buzzing. There was a whole bunch of the people who go to that pub regularly, sort of fairly youngish, sort of young women and young men who go there all the time, who were just so into it, who were really up for it, and it made for a cracking atmosphere. It really was good. So yeah, and then apparently I broke the internet. The stream went down halfway through my set, but never mind. Sorry, everybody, can't do much about that. Jamie had buggered off to go and get some more fuel for his smoke machine. So I was trying to find him. I had to switch it back. Never mind. Yeah.
Just a quick shout out to I just noticed Merbert put something in chat there. He spent 5 weeks in the UK and in Portugal, and then a week in hospital and return. I'm sorry to hear that, mate, but yeah, happy to have you back too, man. I hope
is that because of the UK or Portugal?
Yeah. I'm hoping that it wasn't something nasty, like you've picked up the COVID or something while you're over there and had to spend it in hospital. That would suck really bad. But yeah, it's nice that you're okay, I guess. So awesome. Yeah, awesome, Brooksy. That's good that you've had a nice thing. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, it's been good. Jamie tells me that the actual stream and the audio, or the actual event and the audio, will have recorded, regardless of the stream going out, so that eventually there will be a video and an audio of it all as it would have been when it was streamed. So that'll go up on his channel and my channel at some point. So.
Yeah. Matt Brown said that he really enjoyed the set, and Chris Head said, well done to Jamie and Geosynths. Brilliant show. So, and Half God, Half Beast said we caught most of you online. So there's quite a few people are sort of putting comments in the chat right now, Brooksy. So it warms your heart, doesn't it?
It really appreciate it. Does.
Warms your heart.
Thank you all. Really appreciate it.
All right.
Breaking stuff endures. Yeah, I'm never going to get away from it, Robbie, am I? Sorry.
The curse of breaking stuff endures, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. At least you don't have the curse of showing stuff on a stream that doesn't ever work properly. That's my curse. Right, we should hit this button. Pew. Let's lighten the humor a little bit. Anyone want a Futurama joke? Obviously, he's found Bender. Boom, boom. Nah, not that good.
Yeah, very good. It's good.
I mean, it depends on the time of day that you see these, and you kind of have a little chuckle. You think, I'll chuck it in. When your synth is the only one that doesn't have an MI Braids macro oscillator. Now, I saw this meme and I thought, ooh, this is deep. This is deep, right? So this is a real dig at some people who have made synthesizers and have basically stole the source code from Mutable Instruments. It's a pretty a bit of a slap type meme, right? Yeah. A lot of people that would have gone straight over their head, they wouldn't have understood that. So anyone who's in the sort of digital synth development world will probably know exactly what's going on there. Good meme.
Yeah,
right.
Got that.
This one was interesting too, because Noise Engineering announced that there's a few of their modules they're not making them anymore because they can't get the chips, and this meme pops up. Farewell, fare thee well, sweet basimilas. Yes. I just hope that let's leave these people alone. Let's let them have their own claim to fame. Like, why do we have to put a yellow sticker on everything? And then I thought I'll have a crap meme day. So I thought I'll give myself a go at doing a meme and make it look as crap as possible. And here we go. So you've got a bespoke analog synth. Notice the really crap fonts that I've used through cheap digital FX.
Hey.
I mean, let's do it, guys. Let's spend thousands on our expensive analog gear and just chuck it through a really cheap digital FX, hey? Winning. Next, in the 1960s, this is how we did patch storage in punch cards, right?
I saw this. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love that.
I still have some of those cards.
Yes. Was that it? That was it. Yay. Okay, this time we can do favorite meme of the week, people. Which one was your favorite?
I like the patch cards. I really warm to that.
Punch cards? Patch memory?
Yeah. I'm leaning on the patch cards.
Yeah. What are the chatties saying?
Patch cards and the creepy parenture guy. Yeah.
Manny's saying
Yeah.
in chat, Manny's saying that's 5 megabytes of paper. I like it. Everyone likes the patch storage one. Yay! I finally did a meme that people like. Bragging rights. Cool. All right, we shall head on over to the newsroom. There's a little bit of news this week. Starting with this, who kind of thought this was a good idea? I mean, it was obviously inevitable, wasn't it? The Sequential have announced that there's a desktop version now of this little beauty here. Do you guys know what this is? It's the Trigon 6. And this was the last synth that Dave Smith had his hand in the design and engineering. So it's kind of special in that sense. Has anyone actually tried a Trigon 6 before?
At Gearfest, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't give it enough time. I was far too busy with the Prophet 5 and the Oberheim OBX8. So I didn't really play it for very long.
What interests me is that the sort of the comments that people say about these things, about does it sound like a Prophet, and I reckon that would probably, that would annoy Dave a little bit, but because it's not supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be another type of synth that he's done, right? 3 VCOs, enhanced ladder filter. It's an analog polysynth, right? So who here would rate one of these? Why are we getting these stupid messages? Go away.
I think it looks gorgeous. I always have done.
Yeah. Nice little end cheeks, nice sort of white, like beigey sort of, what do they call it? Birchwood? Birchwood? Yeah, would you call that birchwood, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If money was no object, yeah.
2,500.
It looks.
Yeah.
I was about to say it looks good.
It does look nice. It does.
Yeah, but 2,500.
2,500. That's the problem. We've been spoilt with cheap products, haven't we? But a
lot of folks are complaining about the light wood, but I think it looks good. Yeah.
I like the birch. I like it. There's a couple of other things that we've got that have got birch wood on it, like the nifty Create Audio stuff has got the light birch wood. I think it looks good. Now, the thing that I kind of wanted to remind people about with this synth is the new filter that it's in it. So it's a newly designed voltage-controlled filter, which is a switchable 2 to 4 pole resonant filter designed, dedicated drive and feedback controls. So it kind of they're kind of making it sort of a big point about this. The filter is really the selling point of this, and obviously you've got VCOs with triangle saw and pulse wave, and you know, you kind of will get, won't you? You will get a profit sound out of this. But what I think Dave would have liked us to have said is you'll get a Trigon sound out of this. That's what I think he wanted us to say. And so, you know, in respect to Dave and his design and his awesomeness, I think that's what we'll say, won't we? You'll get a Trigon sound. Does anyone want to make a comment about the desktop module and like why they would prefer desktop modules and they like Sequential's desktop modules and why, anything like that?
I always like a desktop module for space-wise. Whoever it's off, whether it's Sequential or, you know, any. There's only so many big keyboards you can get in a small room like this.
Yeah.
So I suppose having said that, there's only so many desktops you can get in this.
So it's 20 inches wide, or, you know, what is that in centimeters? 55-ish centimeters wide, right? So it's still pretty wide, isn't it?
Yeah, but it does. If you've got one decent keyboard, it gives you a bit of space. You know, you can actually set it on some racks, some shelves rather than. But you know, if you've got the room, keyboard version.
Yep. Keyboards are too big, so it's half God, half space.
I like them because I can rack them. Like I've done with the Pro 800. So
nicely done.
Save space on the table, which
Indeed.
is very rare.
Indeed. By the way, the end cheeks are not birch; they're maple, according to the website. I just had a quick look. I thought maple was kind of more had more of like a red, a sort of pinky tinge to it. So it just.
I think most maple is stained. It's probably seen the stained maple.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I show you something with a red pinky tinge and a stain? Would that be all right?
Oh.
This is a PG show.
Careful, Andy. Careful.
I don't
Yes.
you can just about make it out on the.
Are you going to keep that there, Andy? You'll be able to sign it.
Andy's blood all over his. I made the end of my fingers bleed when I was playing last night, and it was actually a lot more on the keyboard. And made a right bloody mess. So sorry about that. It's quite disgusting, wasn't it?
So you were going nuts with your keyboard playing, and you've taken the tips of your fingers off.
Well, I've got a bit of eczema on the end of my finger, and it's just taken the dry skin off, and it so it's bled everywhere. Yeah, I was having it.
What's the famous song? Summer of '69. Played it till his fingers bled.
His fingers bled. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was
awesome.
August 2023. Doesn't quite scan, does it?
Yeah, it kind of doesn't have the same ring. Yeah.
I don't know whether that was when the show went, or his stream went down when he actually.
I had no idea till afterwards.
When the vampires came and smelt the blood. Right. That was a bit weird. Next, we're going to do this thing. The Cadence. This is from Cheshire. I kind of saw this and I saw the Etsy store and I thought, what? Sold out? Like you just announced it. It's one of those things, right? So I'll show you what I saw, right? So you go to the website and you click on the link and it says Cadence drone synth /utility sold. See item details. All right, let's check it out. Maybe he's going to make some more. It's $249 US or 467. I don't think that's quite a good exchange rate that they're giving us at Etsy. I'm going to talk to you. Anyway, this is what it is. It's a 4-oscillator square wave generator. And there's a couple of YouTube demos here in which we could probably grab that and go to it. Have a look at that, shall we? What? The video is not available anymore.
So the thing's not available and the video's not available.
Everything's not available. All right, maybe I can try another one here.
That's why I want to see a YouTube
It's probably
video.
because someone broke the internet yesterday.
Here we go.
In this video, we're going to look at connecting Cadence to external gear. Firstly, we're going to use it to process an external oscillator. I'm using oscillator A as a clock and sending this to the 4MS rotating clock divider. I'm then taking the clock divider's first output and connecting this to the Expert Sleeper's distinct clock in, which is set to output a quantized control voltage. This is then sent to the volt per octave in on the Moritz Klein VCO. Cadence's oscillator C is then replaced with the square wave from the VCO using the external input switch. With all Cadence's oscillators in sync, we can then experiment with Cadence's settings. I'm using the rotating clock divider's second output to trigger an envelope generator to control Cadence's filter cutoff. This really is about experimenting with different sound sources.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. It's kind of like a scratch your head sort of device, but when you when you click on the links and you go in and check this thing out, you will sort of think to yourself, I kind of get what this is about. This is kind of like an oscillator toolkit. That's kind of the way I saw it, and you're able to then manipulate. You know how sometimes you've had a synth and you've got oscillator sync, for example, and you thought to yourself, I'd like to be able to control that more. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of just controlling it with pitch, I'd like to be able to control the way it beats or the way it, the frequencies a little bit differently. So there's kind of these interesting ins and outs with this product. So you would have seen on the graphic there how you can actually override the outputs with different inputs and things like that. So I kind of thought it was kind of an interesting thing, and I definitely would love if he would make some more of them. That's for sure, because they're currently sold out. And $249 is really not that bad.
I still don't really get what it is. I may be dumb, but
it's okay. If you want to give it a label, it's a drone synth. Okay.
Yeah.
That would probably be its label, but I would say it's more than a drone synth. I would say it's an oscillator utility and drone synth, and it's got 4 VCOs, 4 oscillators, right? And then you can muck around with that, with the various ins and outs. But one of these things, if you buy one of these things and you don't have anything else to manipulate it with, it's going to be pretty, there's some internal wiring and stuff that's going to be able to deliver the drone synth stuff. But you're going to need other gear. Like you'll probably need, if you don't have Eurorack, you'll probably need something like a mini brute too, or you might need a micro freak or something that's got some sort of patching, or a, dare I say, a Behringer Neutron, you know, because decent sort of matrix system in that. So you'll need some sort of CV connectivity and control to use this with. It's not just a, well, it is a standalone device, but it's not just that when you start to get the power out of it. So yeah, very interesting, and I want to see more information about it. So did anyone get a chance to have a look at this during the week when it was announced on a couple of the different news places, or is it all new to you?
It's all new to me, but yeah, but I'm interested in this. I'm going to keep moving my mic because it's got very, very busy in here all of a sudden.
Cool. Yeah. So, what else can I tell you about it? Decade Bridge is the name of the, the place that does these, right? In Cheshire, right? Decade Bridge. So, have you guys heard of Decade Bridge? They are handmade, by the way.
No. Did it say where in Cheshire?
Is it Macclesfield? Isn't there a bridge in Macclesfield called Decade Bridge?
The guy
making that up?
The guy's name is Stephen with a V, if you're wondering who it is. And you can, on the Etsy channel, you can message him. So all those details and links will be in the blog article post-show that will get posted on my website. So you can go follow that later. I am going to be messaging him and saying, can you make me one, please? And here's $249 because it looks really, really cool. And I can see some really cool things to do it with. Right. What do the chatties say about it? Anyone? I reckon Wagoo would like this. I seriously think this is a Wagoo toy. And I don't mean that in any sort of nasty way. I mean that in a good way. Because I think he would find a lot of fun with something like this.
I've been looking at a drone machine, which I don't know how new it is. It's probably not new. Margaret Lani Akia. It looks very interesting. Lani Akia.
Send me the link and we can check it out if we have time.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I will.
Awesome. All right, we will move on to the next. Now, I don't know how they do it every single week. They manage to get a product in or announced or whatever. We talked about this on Discord, didn't we, guys, this week? The vocoder VC16 has been announced from Behringer. It is a Eurorack module, of course. It is a vocoder. I want to know what your favourite car shape is because the left knob. Mine would probably be, supercar, like a Lamborghini. Toyota Sleeker, right. SUVs aren't bad. There's another angle of it.
It's square and boxy.
I kind of thought.
And by the way, the link is in the private chat on StreamYard if you want to use it later.
I can't get that off StreamYard onto here, so.
Oh, I'll send it on Discord.
Yeah, chuck it on Discord. Awesome. Okay, so before we sort of get you guys talking about this, I at first thought I don't really need a vocoder for my Eurorack. But then, Brooksy, your sort of came into my thoughts here. And I thought to myself...
Oh, how nice.
Well, it was an unpleasant experience. No, I thought to myself...
Hardly surprises me.
I'm just kidding. That this may be actually a cool thing to muck around with samples with.
Yes. And drum loops and all sorts of bits and bobs.
Because you're going to be using the formant side of things, right? So before we sort of throw it in the bin, it's like, oh, not another vocoder. Come on, I've got a microcoil already. I'm pretty good. Think outside the square and think, what could you use in your modular with this? And the answer is a shite load. That's the answer. Don't know any details about how much it's going to be or anything like that. That was just a Behringer. Hey, we're going to make this. Anyone want to comment on that one?
Well, I don't think there's anything else like it, is there? You know, they've not. At least they've not nicked that off somebody else. That's a Behringer doing their own thing. God, who'd have thought it? I know there are 1,001 different vocoder types out there, but you know, again, what Wagoose just said in the chat depends what it sounds like. But I mean, on current form, it'll sound decent, and why should it not? You know, and also with vocoders, it does depend what you put through it, because the number of bands it has. So we'll see how it actually.
We think it's.
Wagoose says it's 16 bands. That should be plenty. Yeah, I mean, I think the Korg Micro Korg's only what. Is that 8 band or something like that? That's not very many.
No.
And that works perfectly fine. So
yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
It is.
Quite like the idea.
When it was announced, one of the first things I do, especially when they announce Eurorack, is I jump onto Modular Grid and Mod Wigglers, and I just try and see if anyone is sort of going, that was a rip-off of blah, 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 you know, just to quickly see. And it doesn't look like this is a rip-off of anything. So people, you guys asked Behringer to make something original. I think we might have something here. I think we might have an original module from them, which is a cool thing if that's the case. It's unchecked. That, you know, we need to hashtag fact check this. But yeah, that is a cool thing. Now, Andy, you were going to say.
I was. Oh, I was just saying that the vocoders I have on everything. So if it offers something interesting, or modular control would be kind of interesting, but I literally have a ton of them. So, and most of the ones I have, I've never even used on the equipment that it's on. So I like them, but I mean, I used to make talk boxes for cheap with a bunch of parts, and I used to, you know, I have other kinds of weird stuff. I like vocal formants as well. So I mean, it's fun to have a lot of weird vocal kind of tricks and stuff up your sleeve, but I don't know, not going to be hot to trot on this one unless it's special. So.
But yeah,
I mean, what's the difference between this and the vocoder that's built into the Microfreak? Because I haven't even used that. I haven't even tried that yet.
Analog rather than digital, I suspect.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was going to go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that too, you guys might think of this, you know, the Subharmonicon from Moog, which is kind of a play on a vocoder in a way, with the formant filtering that they've used on that. So, you know, this could lead. Don't forget, Behringer have already remade the Subharmonicon with the what did they call it? The Spice. That's right. Yeah. So maybe they found some tech in that to get this out. That was the only sort of. It's a pretty long straw. That was probably the only one that I could sort of draw a conclusion with. Henrik, I'm just going to get you a link up that you just sent me.
Yeah, it's a really nice drone machine. Penis has made a large video on it, and I think if you like drones, you should check this one out. It's the Lani Akia, not IKEA, but Akia, Lani Akia.
Oh yeah. We've seen this
drone from Margaret.
Yep. I think we showed it when it was released. This is a beautiful looking module.
Yeah, because it has a coloured light.
Darren immediately liked it.
That too, yeah. And it sounds great.
It has a big knob, Darren.
Yeah, exactly. Big knob, coloured light. Who cares what it does?
Yeah.
But Andy, if you want it, be careful. I think it has potential to break the internet.
Oh. As if I need help, Henrik.
I remember talking about the space thing when this came out. It was kind of bizarre how they were like, it was to do with the way the space, that there was like a play on, you know, cosmos and space and galaxies and, you know, weird stuff like that. I remember looking at that. Yeah. So you're getting it, are you, Henrik?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Not this month. Next, perhaps.
Next paycheck.
It's got the name of the first dog in space hidden in it.
Majorit Laniakia.
Was
Or
it
Laniakia.
Leica?
Oh, the first, it was Leica, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Leica, you're right.
The dog the Russians sent up into space.
Leica was the
poor
dog.
bloody thing.
There was a monkey too, which, was it earlier? I can't remember.
I think we might have even said that on the show when we last showed it.
We're repeating ourselves, everyone.
Yeah, I'm having this deja vu moment right now.
We did. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Well, it's a drone.
it. Yeah, we've become quite drony. What else did we have this week? There was something else. Oh, that's right. There was this. This. I thought this was actually a cool product to be released. Why don't we just look at the video first? Beat me to it. I love the little stylophone things. They're so cool. Hey, what is it? $49 for this thing? I think it was. Where's my little notes gone?
$29.95, and I've signed up to it.
£29.95 is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
$39.95 US. I've signed up to it as well.
Is it a Kickstarter, Ian?
Yeah. No, it's not.
No,
it's just a pre-order from.
it's a pre-order.
From Debrec.
I just seen. I
just
asked Robbie
tweaked
if
the
you ordered
previous
it.
one for another 2000. Yeah.
I'll paste the link into
It
the
may
chat.
be rubbish, but
Think if this was released in 1984, how it would have made music evolve.
Oh, absolutely.
There are E-moms everywhere. I can't
There
wait.
would have been a hit single with it. You know, da
Hip-hop
da da or
would
something.
have been different.
it'll go with my original. I've got an original stylophone.
That's right.
I'll be able to play both together.
It would have been, yeah.
Dick.
Da, da, da.
Uh-huh.
You guys ever seen that body rap thing? You ever seen one of those before?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Body, rap, and you wear it
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your arms and you hit it and stuff. And I picked up one of those a while ago. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. I think this thing is going to be fun. I really do. So do we
You
have
have to be careful with these type of things.
There's a
It's one of
photo
those
of it
things
there.
where you go, oh yeah, because it's not that expensive. Buy it, and then you have a good day, maybe even a week playing it, and then it sort of just sits there for the rest of its life in the corner somewhere, and then it gets used again.
Well, I was thinking about giving it to one of my kids. That's what I was thinking about giving it to. So it might end up staying in here, but for a little while.
Or
What if there's
it
some
might
master
end up,
effects? Yeah.
or it might end up with your kid wanting a real drum set.
Well, there's no problem there. There's plenty here. There's one.
Oh, okay.
There's one right here. Look
problem.
at that. You can have that one.
No, a proper drum kit.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
them fighting words. Them fighting words. I actually bought my oldest one of those electric drum kits that you just hit the pads and it makes, you can just choose different kits. And he didn't like it. So, anyway.
Bloody young'uns. What can you
Kids,
tell
they
them?
always let you down. No, just kidding. All right, I think that was it for news, people. So we had the Trigon 6 desktop, the Cadence, which was that awesome drone synth thing. I would call it a drone utility. The Behringer VC16 and the Stylophone Beat. Boot.
You know, Telegel, is it seagulls or something, or seagulls, or?
What about it?
Oh, I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you seen that?
Telegel's a new thing. Yeah.
IntelliGel's new thing. I did.
Yeah. At first look, I thought, is it like a Stages? But I've not looked into it. That was all. I've just seen it. just before we came on, actually.
There's a dual envelope thing which has got link. Oh, we talked about that last
Yeah, we
week,
did.
didn't we?
Yeah.
10
grams or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like a Tangerine Dream album, anyway.
No, this look at first glance I thought it was something like a Immutable Instrument Stages, but I've not looked into it because like I said just before we came on, I've seen it. So
I haven't got any information on it at the moment. Let me just have a quick look at one of the other sites. Where did you see it, Darren?
I think Marla Melodies just put a video up. I think Marla Melodies just put a video up about
I won't be showing
couple of hours.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I know that. I was just saying that's what I'd say.
We'll revisit it next week. How's that sound?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't actually know what it is. It just looked familiar, that was all.
Mm. Yeah,
Half Piece just mentioned the Uno Synth Pro desktop. Well, didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Yep.
Thought we did.
And Robbie was on the show demonstrating it.
Yes, of course. Yeah, he had it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. It's late nights, Andy. Early mornings.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we're done.
I'm looking
we're
at
done
the
with news.
system around. Excuse me.
Okay, people, are we ready? Are we ready? Because for the third week in a row, I think it's catching on. We've got another submission. Yeah, rub your hands together, people. So if you're wondering what this X thing's all about, this is where you've got to listen and watch this little video that's about to be played, and you've got to guess what the synth is. And if you can't do that, then go home. But yeah, just chuck it into the chat, the live chat. For those watching the replay, bad luck. Your first guess, please. And you can have as many guesses as you want, but your first guess is the official entry that you can put in. And then you can do it all the way through until I say timer's up in the chat. I have found the button for the timer's up video. I don't know why it disappeared last week. That was kind of funny. Right, so we're going to all shush and we're going to get the video up and running. Where is it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. Full screen on there.
I'm watching this on real play.
Right. Any questions? Bad luck if you don't like it. Wait. Don't play yet. Right. I'm going to mute everyone and we are going to go across to the video. Here we go. Guesses in, people?
I think they're about 30 seconds behind. Or at least I am. About 20.
There we go. Time is up. Was the video jerky, was it? Did the video not...
Yeah. You timed up on the still 10 seconds.
But the audio still came through, right?
Yeah, the audio was fine.
Okay. You'll probably find that the video was just someone's hands
Was it an Eddie
playing.
video?
No, it wasn't. Let's find out what it was, shall we? We shall.
Oh, money. Cheeky monkey.
Wow. Did he get everyone?
Well done, Manny. Yeah, he's got.
Did he get everybody?
Funky, so yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I watched it, I thought the same thing. I thought, you dirty scoundrel. No, I thought it was amazing. Thank you, Manny. That was awesome.
Yeah, well done.
Well, I don't know if Manny's won before. So, Manny, head on over to my website and fill out the entry form, because you've probably just got yourself a copy of Unify. If you don't have it already, that is. Or, just fill it out anyway. So, yeah. Well done. What do you guys think?
Sweet.
It's a very
That
was well done. Very well done.
The audio definitely didn't stop, but I did see the video being a bit jerky. I don't know what was going on with that. It may have been a computer glitch or a YouTube glitch, but I did sort of see it on the replay being a bit jerky. So
not my fault.
You didn't miss out on anything. I'll just quickly show you again. The video was pretty much just his hands, and then if we scroll through, it's just his hands for a while, and then you would have seen that. You definitely saw that. So, and then the rest of it's just his hands again, and then you would have seen the pedal connection. All right. I think the part that definitely gave it away, in my opinion, was this part. That's the part there, and I'm just waiting for it to catch up. There we go. That's the part that I thought gave it away. That part there. So, but no one picked it up, and I know some of you people do know the.
I've only played one twice, and yes.
We showed it on Price Watch recently. That might have been why Manny thought to do it. So, guys, watching and ladies, put your submission in for next week, because it's getting popular again. Who can feel it? It's getting good, isn't it? I love it how we're getting very different people putting it in each week. It's awesome. It becomes very, very intriguing for us. It kind of sucks how I can't play. It's kind of like, oh, damn. No, but I'm happy. I'm very happy. Thank you very much, Manny. He's already a proud owner of Unify, but he said it was very, very good fun anyway. So that's fine. That's fine. Let's just grab that in there in the chat. Beautiful. Give Manny a pat on the back. Right.
Well done, Manny.
Yeah, well done. Now, the last two winners have filled out the form. So, yeah. Right. Well, we've got through that segment, and we've still got one more, which is this one.
You got people waving in StreamYard.
Why are we waving at StreamYard? Okay, let's go StreamYard. Just a break in the transmission.
Yeah.
What's wrong with StreamYard?
Audio.
Oh, okay.
Audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go, so I'll see you guys later.
Oh, I'll see you,
And
Ian. No worries.
he's been trying to
see
stay
you,
for
Ian.
10 minutes.
Bye,
Have a good one.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
See you, Ian.
See you
All the
later.
best. All right, so we all good now. It's just the audio side. Henrik, you're on your own in there now, so don't get too lonely, okay? All right, where are we? We're on to this, everybody. Ha ha ha. Yes. Now,
If that's all it is, I'll have it.
This is an interesting thing. Normally I would, when I get these things across my desk, I would go, nah, I'm not going to put that on Price Watch. But then I thought to myself, because I saw more than one, and you'll see in a sec what I'm talking about, I thought to myself, somebody would actually want one of these, and they'd probably be willing to pay,
eBay's full of them. Yeah.
80, 75 pounds for it. That's how much it is. So Reverb is starting to get these, but let's have a look at the listing. It's live.
Oh, it's just the catalogue.
It's just a catalogue.
Read what it says, Brooks.
What were you
Reading's good.
Honestly, what were you thinking?
RTFM.
I thought some idiot was putting up a whole system 100 for 155 Australian dollars.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have gone for that. Everyone would have been bidding on it.
All right, I'm going to get my little pile of awesomeness ready for you guys to have a look at in a sec. Right, let's go to the next one. Over here, please. The next one is not a catalog or a thingo. It's a MAM SQ16.
I've got a MAM. With a MAM? You've got one, haven't you, Darren? One of those little boxes.
I've got a MAM, yeah. That'll go with it perfectly. I don't know. I've got 800.
They are a sequencer. Yeah.
Yes.
And
I didn't even know they did one.
I didn't know they did either. And looking at this, I'm thinking that is a sexy sequencer. I really like this. This is actually pretty cool. I probably would have got one back in whenever
it's the same colour as my mum. Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's the same colour as your ma'am.
What do you bet? Pig to
it
use.
looks like, yeah. Yeah.
Nice little sort of desktop module. MIDI in, MIDI out, MIDI through, sync.
Yep.
MIDI in.
Never ever heard of that one.
Yes.
No.
There we go. So what was the money they said they wanted for it? £415. That is actually not that bad. By the way, none of these are scammy this week. I probably should make that clarification. Unfortunately, none of them are scammy. That's okay. They don't all have to be scammy.
It'd be cool actually putting a couple of MAMs together and having that sequence. That might be interesting.
I thought so. I actually probably would think that 400 and something pounds is actually not too bad for it either, considering it's a rare thing. Right, next is another manual. Because I got the first one and I thought, you're kidding me, right? Same as you, Brooksy. It was a double take when I first saw it. It was definitely a double take. And then, this is just a manual. So here's another one. This time, this is just a product catalog for Moog in 1982. But what's cool about it, I guess, is this is what Moog were marketing in 1982. The memory Moog, the DSC, which I'm pretty sure I'd forgotten about. The Source, of course. The Taurus, which we know about. The Liberation, which we know about. The Opus 3, which I'd forgotten about. And the Rogue. So there's two synths there that I've completely forgotten about. And there's some information about them in there as well. You can't really read it that well, though, because they want you to buy it. They want you to spend, £60 for a catalogue.
That module thing can't have been very successful because I've never heard of that.
The DSC. The DSC.
DSC.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about it. Yeah.
God, I thought I knew all this stuff, and clearly there's something that I've never heard.
Yeah, and that was why I thought I'll share it on the show. And then that's not all, folks. Out pops this baby, Darren. You might even remember something like this. Yeah, this one is on.
I've got
eBay.
the AM1X, but not that.
Yeah. Now, what made me laugh and double take again at this is that I have a CS1X, and I had to go back into the cupboard, and that is the Blue Book, they call that. That's the Blue Book CS1X user guide. I have I have a photocopy version of it that I've had for years, right?
Naughty boy.
Naughty me. Slap on the wrist. But anyway, let's just chuck that over there. So maybe I might buy this. What is it? 50 US? It's actually probably not a bad thing. Let's have a look at the live auction. Got to be quick. Someone else might buy it off me. Now, it is not loading. Why not? There we go. It is a bit like that. So the book is a bit like that. I can confirm that because I've got the photocopy version here. But, having shown all that stuff, right, I thought, let's get the CS1X manual, user manual out. There's the user manual. So it has that kind of same design. Do you see? So that's the actual CS1X. This is I've got an original CS1X that I've had since brand new. And you keep your stuff, people. Keep your stuff. Seriously, keep your stuff.
I'm sure I've got an advanced one for the AM1X. Tucked away in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah. So you would have something like this too, which is like the
I have the AM1X one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, we showed some brochures on the show. Maybe I might have some brochures sitting in my pile of goodies. And we do. Remember that?
I have one of those with the zip drive and everything.
So this is actually like a brochure on it that you can, upside down, all the electrons are going to fall out, that you can actually post up on your wall because it's a cool little poster. So I kept
The
that.
fun
It's
thing about
actually,
the D-beam on
Yeah, I
this,
got
there's
one
a
of the Roland
theremin, though. You can
MC
actually play it like an
PL3.
instrument.
that's been pretty good, Nick. Then was this, I might have even shown this on the show before. There's this Roland Boss Groove Gear brochure that I had, which shows how old some of this stuff is, right? And how bad some of it is. Hang on, how do we get that page back? That page there we go. So, and then
Oh, that was cool. I had that one too.
Yeah,
some of the
there's a
stuff.
guy at EMOB in Derby who had that. In Stoke, I had one of those little boxes. Those
This thing
little
opens
silver
up.
and red Roland ones.
This thing opens up to a massive poster.
Which
Look at
one
that.
was it? It
Oh,
was.
look, there's
Oh,
the
VT1.
CL3,
Look at the VT1. That's a classic.
We were talking about the JP 8000, right? Now I've got
Yeah.
a brochure, and then there's the EG101.
Yeah, but look at the AG101 with the big
JX
speakers.
I didn't even know there was a JX305.
I have the
obviously I did.
305. Yeah.
So this is really hard to do. There's the SP202.
DR202 is good. Yeah.
Darren and I both have an MC303
303.
that's there. I've
Yeah.
got the
Well, mine's
505 as
frozen.
well. I probably would have got this when I bought the 505, I reckon. That's when I would have got given this. So,
I had women's on the wall when I was a teenager.
I know. But that's worth money now, people. So go into your studios and have a
I
look.
can go one better, Ranz.
Hang on, wait, I haven't finished. Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold your horses. Darren, you'll love this one.
I'm holding them.
Darren will love this one.
Oh, look.
There's the
XP50
original
workstation,
Roland
yes.
XP brochure.
I'm not sure.
I used to
I've
collect all
got the
those at
brochure.
Guitar Center, and I don't know what I'd do with them. I had all
So,
that shit.
okay, Brooksy, show your wares. Go on.
Okay, I'm sorry, but it's more vintage than your XP50 poster.
Oh, I've got more vintage stuff than that. Yeah, I know. You've already shown that to me.
Oh no, I'm showing it again.
Yeah.
Because you put up a poster that was worth 50 quid. So how much is an operation manual, an actual original genuine sequential circuits Pro 1
50
user
quid.
manual? Oh,
It depends how many stains are
I
on
think
it.
we'll have a bit more. Oh well,
Oh,
there's a few scratches.
yes.
Stop being so bloody dismissive, you guys.
We're not being dismissive. We're just having a little lend. Yeah, so it's fun collecting stuff and then hoarding it, and then one day you can say, "Look, I kept this. I know good," and it still looks brand new.
Me waves an emulator 2 manual around.
But yeah, when you see the stuff on auction, sometimes it just it triggers you with stuff. Now there was one more I wanted to show. Yes, we showed that one, and that is this because I own one of these, and I thought, how much are these going for? And I went, really? I thought they'd gone up in price, but they're still really cheap. And then I thought to myself, nah, come on, let's give them a plug, because I think personally that these are a steal, and you can get this one on Reverb. I don't know what it is in US. It's what is it, $700-800 US, whatever, something like that. That is a pretty good value for what this synth can do. So if you can get yourself one that's got a cartridge, which this one does, this one has a cartridge. That looks like it may not be an original cartridge though. Oh no, it might be. Actually, that might be. Yep. And it's in pretty good nick. Now there were two versions of the ESQ one from memory. There was like the full-on metal / heavier than a tank version, which I think this one is.
Yeah, one has a heatsink on the outside.
Yeah. This might actually show it in the photos, maybe. I don't know. That definitely looks like the one I've got anyway. But yeah, great synth. Why does that take so long to update? Something's going on weird with my...
the ANMRI.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Very pretty. You just got
You
to flash
found it.
manuals around for the rest
Right,
of the day.
Show us your manuals.
Yeah. AM1X. and a big thick thing. Look at that big thick thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Akai used to put them in those plastic binder things back in the day.
And so completely, I didn't even know I had, but I've even got.
Wow. Does it even work?
Try getting that to work.
Vaporware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it will actually, because I've got an old G3 Mac, and it goes on that.
If your G3 Mac still works. Yeah. Winning.
Awesome. It was last time I had it going, yeah.
All right, but we haven't finished, Darren, because there's one more to show you. Are you ready?
One more.
And this one is sent in by Robbie, and I don't know why it's not showing, but let's just go straight to the auction, eh? Who cares about the graphic? Bang.
One pretty picture. The X100. 1,000.
Wow.
Somebody's having a giraffe.
So this actually probably does fall into a little bit of scammy territory.
Did Roger Trotman touch this one? Is it that?
Somebody's scribbled something on it, or it's got a dint in it.
It's a gauged.
Gouge.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it a thing of beauty though, hey? The DX100.
No.
Who had one of these?
I had one. Yeah, they're great.
I had one for about 5 minutes.
LCX.
Come on, it's a guitar. You can put the strap on it.
You could. Yeah. Anyway, that's the DX100 that you can rush off now and buy for £1,100. Steal, right? There we go.
More
Price
money.
watch done.
What's Henrik wafting?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have this one.
Oh, you do you? Oh, well, shall I go get my Commodore 64 ones out, shall I?
I've got a Commodore 64 one, so you can.
I still have the original Macintosh 128K books.
Oh, God, this is...
I've actually got a...
retro.
What's the oldest computer one I've got? I've got a TRS-80, Z80...
Watch this in
Tandy
a minute. Everyone on screen will just vanish off. It'll be empty, because we'll all be rummaging in cupboards to try and come up with
getting the manuals out. Look at me manuals. Look what I've started.
You have.
My mum used to always say, don't start something
It's a
you
Mackie
can't
Pro
finish.
32, by the way. Half God, half beast.
Right. Well, guess what we're going to do now?
Cassette tape, the Welcome to Macintosh cassette tape with the
Rounds
Windows
before
type music on it.
Yeah, Brooksy.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to jump out because I'm going to go and have a lie down.
All right, mate.
To rest
You don't want to find out about this?
I'll have to watch back. I know it'll be cool. I know it'll be cool.
Come on, you can do it, Andy. I'm doing it.
No, I'm going to.
I don't know what
suffering.
time
You know who's had no sleep at all? Yeah, the other Andy. He's
I'm a bleeding lightweight.
Come on, little girl.
What's that song? Up all night. Up all night.
That's all right. You go, Brooksy.
I'm going to go and have a lie down. See you all soon. Thanks everyone for the kind
All right,
words as well. Very much appreciated. Take care.
I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'll rush through. See you again, Andy.
All right, blank your screen first before you disconnect, because then it'll be black. So turn your video
first. So
there you go. Good man.
Right, try roll.
See you later. Right, people, it's time for wireless MIDI. Wireless MIDI. Let's go to... Where's my camera angle from above? That one there. Let's go with that. And what else can we find? And that. Unopened. Never used it. Let's check it out. Now, I know you guys have probably had this rammed down you from other channels. But, I paid for this. This is not a freebie. This is not a sponsored session. This is something that I bought because I was talking about this probably on the show the other day, and I thought to myself, I would like to just be able to chuck something in these MIDI DINs or even the TRS connections and not have to run a cable all the way across. I should do it this way. All the way across my studio, right? Like I have with this one here. That goes all the way across my studio, and underneath these desks are hundreds and hundreds of cables, and you don't really want to do that sort of crap because it's annoying. But then everyone was saying to me, these are going to be really bad. They're going to have latency. They're going to be, it's going to be a nightmare. So why did I buy it when I've already got one? Yes, for anyone who actually follows my channel will know that I've had this thing from Yamaha for years. In fact, it was 5 years ago when I got this thing. Because I can prove it. Because I did a video on it 5 years ago. There it is. So, why I don't want to use these is because they are rubbish. Sorry, Yamaha, but they are. Out you go. Right, let's check out this MIDI WIDI.
Well, Bluetooth 4, right? So
it was Bluetooth 4, but it was rubbish. Yeah. Anyway, let's check this out. So what I'm going to do that's going to be slightly, let's say slightly more advanced, is we're going to marry this up with my MRCC, which is the MIDI routing system I've got here. And the reason why I want to do that is because that's how everything is going to be talking to everything. So what I'm going to do is, I have a feeling, this is the master, right, that we plug that in to the MRCC, right? And from everything that I've watched and been told, if you watch YouTube, you get this information. These things don't need any power. They power off of MIDI. So as long as you've got a proper MIDI powering thing, right? So we can open this thing up.
Good thing to mention why you said that. Certain synths, like some Sonics and Emus, I think, or at least Sonics, don't have enough juice on MIDI to do it.
So there it is there. It is, let me put underneath that. So it's a reasonably pretty big thing. It's a couple
Is that to be connected to MIDI in?
So I'm going to connect this to MIDI out. MIDI out.
Oh.
Yeah. So to see that arrow there, I'm kind of feeling that means it's going out, right? And then on this, this one you would put, this is the other side of it. So if you were to use these things, you would have this thing connected in here, right? And if you were to use it on this, you would use it like this, right? You would connect it like that. But I'm not going to do it this way because I don't want this device here to be my primary master USB jobber, right? So let me just, we don't probably need this little section for now. But if you did, that's how we'd use it.
I'm thinking about the out and in. Sometimes it might be better to have it on the other jack, the master. But there's not power out on the MIDI in, right? It's only the out. Yeah. So that's why. Yeah.
You probably can't hear me because I'm talking miles away.
Yeah.
I have chucked that into the MRCC. I'm just going to get the camera to, let me just, you guys can't see anything right now. I'm going to get the camera to turn around. Where are we? Camera. Is it that one? No, it's not. Is it that one? Yes, it is. Here we go. This is going to be all dusty. I haven't even even thought about cleaning over here. It's all messy. Just judge me.
And it's a subject for your next show: how to clean a synthesizer.
Just judge me.
No, it's good. You added a level of difficulty to the whole process. So yeah.
All right, there it is. There. Can you guys see the blue light flashing? I've just plugged it into the MRCC. Yep, you guys can see that?
Yeah.
You all good?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other end that's going in this is not this other section. That's part of the master. You don't need that if you just want to transmit MIDI in, right? So that's MIDI out, that thing, it's going to go to MIDI in. So what you need is one of these, the MIDI jacks, and you can get plenty of these things. Now these will power as well off of the low voltage MIDI as well. You can power, if your MIDI doesn't have power, you can power them off of USB-C here. And I do believe that's like a magnet that you can use the 3M sticker. So that's that as well, which is pretty cool. I've just noticed that. Right, what we need is we need to get the little bag that came with it. Where's that gone? That's this. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to use this. Okay, we need out and in connected up, right? So that's in and that's out. And if I remember rightly, that should go. I think this is the way it goes. So in would go to out. I'm guessing it goes that way. Oh, look, we've got lights already. Look at that. And then that would go there. Now that's just going to sit over here. Yes, it's kind of annoying, those cables, but all right, just for now, that'll go over there. Now you can use, you can get longer cables for this. Right. So what else we're going to need to do is we are going to need to connect this up to some sort of something that will send MIDI. So why don't we start with a new Ableton Live set. We'll go over to here. Okay, so this will just go File, New Live Set. So you guys know that I've started a new live set. We're going to have my Arturia key step going out to the MRCC there, and we probably need to get some audio coming in through my there, and we just need to run utility on that because it needs DC offset. Okay, right. Now we're getting MIDI activity. Look at that. All right, over there, this is showing MIDI firing. That's showing MIDI firing. Now, if I go to that other camera, where's the other camera gone? See, I'm pressing the key on the key step, and you can see that blue light flashing. So there's things happening. So, but why can't we hear anything? God knows. God knows why. Maybe it's on the wrong channel. There you go. So what I'm using is just a key step which is plugged into USB into Ableton, and that is transmitting live over. Let's see if I can show you guys how quick this is responding. I can't tell any difference. It's pretty quick. Right, I'm not going to do any scientific latency measurements here, but that... Would you guys say that's pretty instantaneous?
Yeah, but I still think you should measure it with lots of data at the same time and on drums.
Okay.
So put it...
well, for now, this is probably not the best device, right? Because this is just like a one-channel synth voice. But what we could do, and I think kill two birds with one stone, Henrik, is we could bring out this, which is a multi-timbral MIDI device, right? And at the same time,
but you say it's connected to Ableton. You could send other channels at the same time, and then we could hear if it causes any latency while you trigger something. So we don't need to hear all on the other channels. Just transmit it over the MIDI port.
I can translate. What you're saying is go into Ableton and transmit a whole bunch of stuff over different MIDI ports. So we just add like a couple of more MIDI channels here, right? And then make them all go to different MIDI ports. Okay, so make it go to channel 2. Make that one go to channel 3. And
then
the same. Let's duplicate that. few times.
The question is then if the one we are testing should be the last one or the first one.
Well, it won't matter. I can just move it around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those experiments, I think you probably want to have some more sort of multi-timbral stuff happening. But what we could, because we're using this like a remote thing, right? That's what we're using this for. So, yeah. The other thing, the reason why I wanted to bring out the Korg is because the issue that we've got with Korg is TRS type A versus TRS type B, right? So, and also it's not MIDI DIN, okay? And one of the things this little WIDI jack thing has on it is a switch somewhere. Where did I see it? There.
That's nice.
It's got a type A and type B switch on it, which really helps you. So I can go, I don't need these little MIDI jack TRS to DIN converters. I can just get a little stereo 3.5 TRS cable to go from there to there, and we should be able to get that to work. Do you guys want to try that next? Is that a good little experiment? Do you think?
Yeah.
Because this will be multi-timbral, the Electro, I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly. I just need to get power to it. Oh, yeah, there's power. Cool. So we'll get power to it. Let's see if we can get power to it. Does the Electro doesn't have Bluetooth in it, does it? Guys, can you remember? I don't think it does.
No, it's too old for that.
Yeah, good. All right, let's take that out. So goodbye to the pink, horrible Behringer thing. But I mean, the other thing too is that I was kind of hoping that Behringer would let me down, and it didn't with MIDI. So it powered that. It powered that. The WIDI jack thing here. It's powered it. So that's one thing. Now, what is that noise? What's that? Is that? What we could do is, do you want me to go get the TRS to DIN converters, or do you want me to just go straight out with stereo TRS? What would you prefer?
Just straight out.
Straight out?
Yeah.
To see if it works. And then we can try that little switch out on here. Okay, we'll just leave those there. All right, I didn't prepare earlier TRS cables. Where would they be? I've got, because remember that they're stereo, not mono, right? So I can't use my eurorack stuff, because they're all mono. Have I got stereo cables? Question. The answer is probably.
But it will switch both ports, right? So you can't use an A and a B type at the same time.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
I have many mono TRS cables. Oh no, are we going to not have stereo TRS cables here?
Those A and B dongles are pretty cheap on Amazon. You get like those little red and blue ones to tell you the difference. So that you get them pretty cheap now.
Sorry, I'm literally going through a container, literally like a big tub right below me here with thousands of cables, audio cables in it. So, you guys mind while I find it for a sec? You guys don't mind, will you? Hopefully I've got something in here that we can use. I don't even know if I have. It's not something I generally have lying around.
I'm using them for my TRS MIDI.
Oh, here we go. Here's one. What's that?
That's what I'm using for my TRS MIDI on my stuff. It's little bits, so it's a full cable.
I think that's one there. So we can try that one. Now, I'm going to need to find two of those. That's the problem. Give me a sec. Problem is, I can find heaps of these, which are like 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch. Because that's something that I've obviously needed at one stage. Like, how many of these do I have? There's 3 packets.
Probably more than you need.
Yeah. But I don't need that one.
Like I say, you always don't have the cable that you want. That's the thing.
Well, I bought cables and adapters for years at Radio Shack. I don't even know where half of them are. I have them somewhere.
I thought I had a whole bag full of them.
Yeah, but see, that's like Andy, is that you buy all these different cables, connectors and everything, you keep them, but you don't use them, and then you keep them, you lose where they are, and then when you actually come to need one, you end up buying some more.
Occasionally I get lucky. I go, oh, that's where they were. Look at that.
I don't even know if these are going to work. They could be actually damaged. Some of these cables I might have used, in an old car stereo thing. There's a Belkin one, and it could work. So we'll try.
Oh, it's just that they use 2.5 mil. Are you sure? They use 2.5 mil.
Oh, 2.5.
Bobby said.
It is. He's right.
Yeah,
so I've spent that whole time.
But that was great.
That was fun. And I don't even know what happened to the other one.
That was a common format for a while on some of the a pocket PC.
Okay, so we can't try this unless I go and get the. Yeah. If I go and get the dongles. All right. You know what we do, Darren?
But it was good to know for people wanting to buy these. We
need to get to. We need to get 2.5 cables.
2.5 mil and 3.5 mil. 5-pin MIDI in, and this is just all for your MIDI.
Yeah.
And eventually, when MIDI 2 comes out,
the problem with there is a problem with this, right? And that is that in some cases, you're going to need a longer cable than that, because in some synthesizers, the out and in aren't next to each other. In 99.9% of synthesizers, the out and in are next to each other. But if your name is Behringer and you made the Pro 800, the in is on the front panel and the out is on the back panel.
Oh, really?
So that's about as useful as...
So Robbie's just said the official MIDI standard for TRS is MIDI is 2.5 mil. So now it's going to be a pain because those Rolands use 3.5 mil, I think. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Or do they? Oh God, now you see, I've got me looking.
Almost says 3.5.
So that cable that I found was 2.5.
We're in a hell of MIDI-ness.
That cable that I found was 2.5, but it's 3.5 on the other end, right? So that actually is going to be perfect for the Electro. But the only problem now is I'm going to need another one, which I don't have.
This MIDI cabling is getting worse than audio cabling. Cabling.
So anyway, let's put that to bed. I can go find the dongles if you guys really, really want me to do it, but you guys have seen it. So yeah, if you want me to find the dongles, tell me and I'll go get them, and we'll just use these conversions.
I wouldn't worry about looking for your dongles.
Okay. Well,
I've lost mine.
I kind of wanted to try it, and I'm kind of pissed that I didn't have the things. All right.
But good learning experience, Rans. Anyone watching?
Yeah.
Well, don't feel bad. When I first set up last night, I forgot my eyepieces. How's that? Had to put it all back together, drive back home, get the eyepieces, go back out.
Oh, for you, yeah. For you know. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, but that's just so classic. That's what I'd do. I'd drive for miles and miles and miles and I go, I can't believe I forgot the only thing that I said I didn't want to forget.
The most important thing, the eyepieces,
yeah.
My daughter went on a camp early this year, and we, planned this thing for weeks. Right, she was going away with her school for like 10 days, and it's probably the longest she's ever been away from us and all sort of stuff. And so we were like, we had this checklist. We had, sleeping bag check, canteen check, clothes, thermals, all this stuff, right? We had it all checked off. The day that we took her to school to drop her off, which was like a really early morning, bus ride thing that we had to do, we got there, and guess what we forgot? What's one of the most important things that you need when you go camping?
The
sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag? Yeah.
Oh.
I literally had to break every single land speed record known to mankind, and I probably got picked up by about 400,000 speed cameras on the way, just get home, because we had like 15 minutes before the bus was leaving, and the school said, if you don't get back here in 15 minutes, we're leaving without you, and you'll have to drive 4 hours down south, and you'll have to deliver it yourself. I'm like, not gonna happen. I broke every record known to mankind just to get this sleeping bag. Oh god! Luckily, I didn't go. I didn't go through.
When I went to Madagascar, and my sleeping bag got left behind, so I was sleeping under the stars, just in my clothes, and getting wet from the dew and all that shit. That was just crazy. Truly roughing it.
All right. So anyway, let me go get the dongles. You guys can, Darren, you can talk about the video that you did if you like.
I can talk about it. Well, it's not me, is it? It's little the purple one.
Why don't I play it? I don't know if it's going to work though. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's about. Well, it's 3 minutes long, so it'll give you 3 minutes time because it's not the full length. Because you'll have to go to the album to get the full length.
So which one
is
it?
It's the video I wanted out anyway.
It's Rave.
The last
Dave,
one. It's come out today.
If you see what I see, that one.
Yeah. You can put that in, so everyone can go and check the album out. It's on there. This is only a prelude to it.
Perfect amount of time. Right.
That was good.
That was really good, Darren, by the way. So please pass on.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, so please pass it on to Dave.
I will. Well, he just assumes everything that he does is good anyway, even I tell him it's not. Well, he can't go on the album.
He's allowed to have
You
an
in the
ego.
back
When
room
you
eating your
produce
Parma
music
Violet,
good as
that's
that,
it.
you're allowed to have an ego, I think.
Yeah, he throws them at people as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went and grabbed the dongles, which I had in a box, and so these are your standard TRS to DIN that the Korg Electro would give you, and then it's kind of stupid because if I just had another one of these, we would have been fine. Anyway, Amazon, here we go. Right, so I haven't done anything. I've just plugged it in, and we're getting stuff. Probably should connect a channel up on the external in. Where is that coming in on? 29. So you can see 4 channels firing. Henrik, can you see that? Because we set up 4 channels.
Yes.
So if I go into Ableton now and I just duplicate a few more of these, right? I'm not gonna step you guys through this, but you just trust me. If I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna put, how many do you want me to put? 16. There's 5.
Yeah,
now.
but I would rather like, instead of it's just copies, I would rather like it's like 15 channels sending sysax.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can do that.
I mean, it's good to see it all firsthand, but they must have tested it this much, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they wouldn't release it if they haven't tested all that use
Anyways,
cases.
so you guys can see in Ableton, I've got 5 channels set up, and there's 5 pads being. So
yeah, but it's still not. It's not much data. It's only five node ons.
Okay, stop your whinging. It's fine. It's completely fine. You can go test that stuff out yourself. All right. I think what I'm trying to say is for my needs, right? This is no different. I can't tell any difference. I don't work for these guys, but I can't tell any difference just by playing this.
But it's not that I'm criticizing. It's just if people want to use it from the door to control 10 instruments at the same time, will there be problems somewhere? It's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I know what you're asking.
They must have tested that in their use cases.
I know in the other direction from a keyboard to the door, it's okay. It's no problem.
I mean, Robbie's talked to those guys a lot. I'm sure he's asked them some of those kind of questions. So Halloween sounds.
That's 5 things going off at once.
To help the mashup.
One of the cool things about the Electro is it does respond to pitch. So yeah. Anyway, I was not expecting it to handle that at all, and it did. And you can see there's no power required on that. And if we go to our view over here of the MRCC, you can see me. It's just.
Does the MRCC show you channel data on the screen there for each channel, so you can see if there's actually number changes and stuff?
It does. You can see it lighting up down the bottom on the right hand screen there. See that? So you can actually, with the MRCC, you can actually go and into. I'm miles away from me right now. I can't press it, but you can go in and set up one of the screens that will show MIDI, like a MIDI monitor thing, and it will show
like running MIDI aux or something. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that's fine, and I think I like the fact that this has got the conversion, the Type A to Type B on it. so that's good. I like how it's got the magnet on it too. So if you had some sort of synth that you needed to chuck it to, and like you said, like the Ensoniq that didn't have power on MIDI, you can use USB-C as well. So, and I guess the next thing is the price. These things are pretty cheap. I can't remember what I paid for it. Let's just have a quick look. WIDI jack, right? That's what they're called. So you get basically what you do is you get one master, and there's a whole bunch of other things that you can get, right? So, I bought these directly from CMEpro.com, but I noticed that you can buy these from your local music store, and you can also buy them from Amazon and stuff like that. And I also noticed that there is another brand that you can get that look really similar to WIDI, and I'm kind of scratching my head thinking, has someone copied WIDI?
Well, it's like those wireless mic knockoffs that Rode has. That these guys copied the Rode ones that are half price.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we showed them, didn't we? I think we showed them. Yeah.
I have a pair of those. They're pretty good actually.
But anyway, CME-pro.com. I'll just
and this is not WIDI, but I have the CME the Pro Hub box.
Oh, sorry, Darren, you did it again.
The batch. It's not WIDI, but it's the same company, CME.
Yeah.
The Pro Hub.
So, I use the X-Key Air with WIDI. It's really good.
Exactly what I was about to say. So the first thing I ever saw CME make was the Bluetooth keyboard, and anyway. So you guys can see from this graphic, right? Basically, what I've got is the middle thing and the thing on the right hand side, and they've got other devices too that you can get, like for example the U-host or the USB connectivity. So the USB connectivity is good for those things that doesn't have any DIN. It's just USB. But most of the stuff you should be able to get away with just the master and the WIDI jack on the right. Now pricing. Can we go to the shop here? Just so you guys can. This is no special deals or anything. I'm sure there's probably a discount code someone can get you somewhere. Where's the shop here? This is in US dollars, by the way, too. Okay, so let's go wireless, and let's go. So there's the jack, and you can get different versions of the jack. So you can get jack with that sort of cable, that sort of cable. I got it with this one here. So I probably could. Next time I probably should have got that one maybe. The 2.5.
It's funny. The X-Key and X-Key Air even have polyphonic aftertouch. It's like, I'm sure you could have done that too, because they're on the same price point basically.
And the master is. So that was 59 for the jack, and the master is the same price, 59. Okay. So for example, you see the photo here. So with the master, you've got that secondary cable that comes off. So this goes in the big one goes in your out, and this other one goes in your in. And then you can control that with a Bluetooth device somewhere else. That's kind of what that's about as well. But for my liking, I mean, like I said on the show, I've never plugged it in until tonight on the show. I've plugged it straight into the MRCC. It's not requiring any power, and it's working just as I would expect it to work. So pretty happy. What do you guys think? Henrik, I know what you think.
Licensed it out. That's why you can see it similar.
I like it. Why I'm critical is because I am thinking of sending lots of data, and I'm thinking of using it in the other direction, not from the keyboard to the DAW, but from the DAW to the keyboards or drums or everything. So I just want to know if it works. I'm not saying it's not working. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying I like it if it works. And that's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, and Robbie is in the chat too, so we can.
Yeah, I can't follow that at the same time.
Well, you can ask questions and he can answer them, and it will be like a 10-second-ish delay, so that's not too bad. What I was going to say is that there's obviously a limit to that what that master can do, which I haven't got in front of me. I'm sure the website will tell you. But then you can actually get multiple masters, and then you can have.
Robbie says the one master can do up to 4 slaves.
Well, there you go. 4 slaves, 1 master, and then you need more. You just get another master, and you can then group your masters. So yeah, that would be very, very cool in that sense. So when he says 4 slaves, this is kind of where I'm trying to get my head around, right? In some cases, when you're looking at so you were looking at the Electro before, and the Electro handles 16 channels, okay, of MIDI, because this is polyphonic. This is a polyphonic device. But the Behringer Edge that I was showing you guys earlier is only 1 MIDI channel. So there's going to be situations where you're going to want this thing to be able to handle polyphonic, multiple MIDI channels, like you're saying, Henrik, like you've got your synthesizers that have, may be able to respond across multiple channels because they might be multi-timbral.
Yeah, and some may send MPE and some may send pitch bend at the same time. It can be a lot of data. I know the limit is the 31.
Yeah, Robbie, jump in.
250 bits per second. But still, that's possible to overload.
Yeah,
and therefore,
when I meant, I think I meant multi-timbral, not polyphonic, by the way. So multiple MIDI channels is multi-timbral. If I said polyphonic, I apologize. I was probably just getting tongue-tied. It is 11 o'clock at night here. It's been a long day. Robbie's going to jump in to StreamYard so we can ask him questions. So Henrik, this will be good for you.
Yeah.
I do
have
want
to leave for a minute. I just need something to drink.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
He's not in there yet, but he's coming in. Okay. Stream 90. Oh, there he goes. Here we go. Yep. bit.ly/Ranzee StreamYard. There you go. Okay, so what I was going to find out quickly is, not find out, but show you guys, is there was another, like a copy of the CME thing. Just let me get Robbie in. Robbie's coming in. Yay, Robbie. Here he is. He's
bonjour.
Bonjour, Robbie.
While we're having a chat to Robbie, I'm going to get this link up and I'm going to show you this copy one that I found. X5, that was the company. X5. And I want to show you guys this because it kind of worried me, because this is an Australian website. But X5, they make not copy, but chipsets, for like, they're not like a scammy company in any way, shape or form, but this looks exactly like the CME product. Does it not?
It is. It's licensed.
Okay.
It's just, it's they started to generate a bit of income from relicensing the tech. So basically, it's like if you sorry, I'm going a bit dark there. If you buy, I don't know. There's lots of things you can buy now. You can buy cars, can't you, that look the same. It's just a different company's badge on, and that's all they've done. They've just licensed.
So it's Rigididge and CME getting some quid out of it.
They'll get some money out of it, and therefore it'll be completely 100% compatible with all the other WIDI stuff. So,
well, the funny thing is they were more expensive, so you might as well get the CME stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. No, Henrik
do you want
Henrik had 1,000 questions, so why don't we get you to answer those?
Let me clarify this thing about the groups and
he's
the
even got a
masters
notebook
and the slaves and stuff.
Yep.
So it is a little confusing. The name WIDI Master doesn't actually denote it as a master in terms of a master-slave environment. That was just the name of the product, really. So a WIDI Master and a WIDI Jack and a WIDI U host and a WIDI Bud Pro can all do exactly the same The only difference is the connectivity between that WIDI unit and the connecting device that you want to plug it into. But inside, they all perform the same task. So what you can do is you can take, say for example, Rand, you've got that MIDI unit, I forget what it's called now,
Yep.
And you can plug a WIDI unit into that, and then you set that as the, for want of a better phrase, the master or the host. Let's just call it the host.
Yep.
So you set that as the host, and then using the app, because you have to have the WIDI app to configure these things. You go into that unit and you say, I want this unit to be the host, and then I'm going to turn on all the units I want to connect to that host, up to a total of 4. I'll turn those on one by one, and as the app sees those in the Bluetooth arena, it will say, do you want to add this one? You say, yes, I'll add that one, I'll add that one, I'll add that one, and I'll add that one. So you'll then add those 4 other WIDI devices into the group. So you can then send WIDI data to those 4 groups, and the way you differentiate the data going to them is to use them on separate MIDI channels, up to 16, but obviously you've only got 4 that you can play with. So you can send all this data from, say, Ableton out of that one WIDI host unit, and it will then be transmitted to all 4 of those. But obviously, if you set the WIDI channel, the MIDI channel to a different one for each one of those, then you'll get, so you can send your drums to one, and your bass and your melody and your pads or whatever. So you can do all of that. Or the other alternative is to use good old-fashioned MIDI daisy chaining, and you just use, because obviously the through port delivers the power required, the same as the out port does. So you would connect your one WIDI unit to your DAW, for example, and then you'd have another WIDI unit on, say, the first synthesizer in your chain, and you would have instead of it connecting to the output port to go on to the next synth, you'd connect it to the through port, so the data would get passed through. Now, obviously, that does, daisy chaining MIDI introduces latency, whether you've got a cable or whether you've got wireless. I haven't tested the latency between the two, but I imagine it is absolutely no worse than using a cable, and might even be a little faster, because those
cables,
transmission rates,
blah.
yeah. So because you haven't got the metal resistance there, so you've just got a radio signal. So yeah, that kind of explains how you can use them as multiple units. So to kind of expand on that, you could say, all right, well, I'll put let's say I've got 8 MIDI out ports on my MIDI bay, and I can put a WIDI unit in each one of those, and then I can connect 4 units to each of those WIDI units. So what's that, 32 potential WIDI connected devices off of 8 ports. I haven't got that many pieces of equipment to test that sort of thing on. So obviously you would have to consider some interference of some description, but that's a pretty extreme case. So yeah.
By the way, I don't think it will be faster. Every semiconductor you have to go through will make a delay. So it will not be faster than a wire, that's for sure.
But it won't be any slower. So.
No, probably not.
But you won't be tripping over all those cables.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I actually did try it in my old studio. I had my 2 Jaspers racks, which are now on the same wall, weren't in the other place. And I thought, I wonder if I can send something from my desk to a unit that's on one stand, and then have that daisy chain to other stuff on the other stand, and it did work. And I only had sort of 3 or 4 units connected, but it meant that I could actually play stuff on that stand via that WIDI daisy chain through. So it is possible.
Yeah,
I think it's very, very interesting, and I would like to change all my cables to WIDI, but that would cost a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing. It's not cheaper than cables.
No.
What it gives you is that added benefit of not having to run cables everywhere. You know, whenever I get something in the studio now, I can just put it on my desk, and the only cable I have to worry about if it requires mains is a main supply. I don't have to worry about MIDI cables in and outs or anything like that. It's just there.
Now I've just brought Bonnie in because she's snoring, and I just thought you guys might want to just see little Bon there in her slumber, snoring away, lying on her back. That's what she does in the middle of my show every Saturday. Anyway, so we could just go back to this. Everyone's dizzy now. Look at that. And there we are, back to the MRCC. So the reason why I wanted to show you the MRCC with this, guys, is because the MRCC is kind of, there's a couple of these sort of products out there in the market. This is not the only one that kind of does this sort of stuff. But what this is kind of like your MIDI hub. We'll call it a MIDI hub because there's a good name for it. And you can connect up multiple MIDI connections to it, and each one of those MIDI connections has its own port, but each one of those ports has 16 MIDI devices that you can hang off of it technically. So it's pretty insane. So by me using just one with the MIDI master like that, because the reason why I did Robbie with my setup, and it may have been incorrect or correct in some way, is that way that is now transmitting Bluetooth MIDI out of that port, which I can address through the MRCC, also through the WIDI map app as well. But now this is receiving that Bluetooth information here. But like you said, also anything that can take Bluetooth MIDI, like your iPhone, an iPad, even your Mac computers now that have got Bluetooth in them, you know, you wouldn't
can I ask a question?
need that. Yeah.
Yeah. When you when you designate each WIDI host or slave, I know we're not using that off the app. When you switch everything off and sort of say close the app, is it still locked in to the each WIDI unit then? So you don't. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, everything
so you
is
don't have
saved
to ever go back to the app unless you want to change it.
Device
unless you want to change it. Yeah. So the practice. I mean, it does add a bunch of work when you start out with these things, because you need to plug them in one by one and configure them how you want them. So that might be like you just want peer-to-peer. So you'll only ever connect your controller keyboard to that synthesizer. So all you have to do is just turn those two devices on, and they automatically pair with each other. That's the default setting. Is that they will automatically pair with the next available WIDI unit they find. So you turn one on, and it just sits there like Rand showed. It was just blinking slowly. Then you turn another one on, and within about 2-3 seconds, they're connected, and that's it. And that's all you have to worry about. Then you can do a designated connection, so you will force it, or force those two WIDI units to only ever connect to each other, whatever happens. So as soon as you turn them off and turn them on again, they'll only ever connect to each other. So once you've set that up, that's fine, and you don't have to worry about it. Or you can do that, 1 to 4 group, and set that up. And once you've set it up, it stays there until you either delete that setting, or you reset the device, or you change it manually. So it's it's very easy once you set it up. Once you set it up. Oh, and I'd just like to say also, connecting direct to things like iPad, iPhone, whatever. We'll do that, absolutely no problem. But CME always recommend, if possible, connect WIDI to WIDI rather than WIDI to third-party Bluetooth device, because what WIDI uses is Bluetooth 5, but there is kind of bespoke stuff in there. So if you're connecting WIDI to WIDI, you get the very best connection, and it will be.
I get you.
Yeah. So I mean,
they're not going to guarantee it.
Yeah, because you can't, because they don't know how old your Mac is, whether it's running Bluetooth 4, whether it's running Bluetooth 5, whether your iPad is an old iPad or a new iPad or whatever. So what I did was I bought the WIDI Bud Pro, the standard USB one, and that just sits in my Mac. doesn't go anywhere. That's my MIDI connection on my Mac, and then if I ever want to control anything, it comes out of that.
Yeah. So MIDI will actually work with the older Yamaha, and the Roland also brought the same thing out at the same time. So Roland have a very similar looking product. Actually, the graphic on the front of our show, I think, has a photo. There you go. There's the Roland one there. Yeah.
But the Roland one has to be powered by a AAA battery, doesn't it?
The Roland one absolutely sucked. It was terrible. Yeah. The Yamaha one was okay. It was just Bluetooth 4 and it was just laggy, and I wasn't that impressed with it.
Here's one for Chris, Makeshifter, in the chat. I know he's, and for anyone else who is technically minded and gifted like that, WIDI also do the chipset. So CME do the WIDI chipset. So if you want to build WIDI functionality into your synthesizer or your MIDI capable device, you can buy the chipset and put it in. So you can do that.
We were having a look at that, I think, just a few minutes ago. There we go. There. So we're looking at the ethos of the connectivity, and there's the chipset on the bottom right-hand corner.
That's quite cool. You could WIDI up some retro synths even.
You could, if you knew what you're doing, you could just hook those in. And then you've got WIDI connectivity. But
because the pinouts would be pretty. The pinouts would be pretty sensible, I would say. Like me, I mean, I've played with Arduino, MIDI monitor stuff, and it's actually pretty simple stuff. Usually, MIDI doesn't require a lot of. It's a pretty basic sort of
MIDI powers Arduino
thing. Yeah. So I reckon that would be
WIDI
cool
Juno. I was thinking.
I reckon Chris would be rubbing his hands together right now. And they're not that expensive. What's the kit? I think we saw it before.
The chipset is it's £20.
Is it U-Host? Or no, it's Core. It's Core, isn't it? Yeah, Core.
WIDI Core, WIDI Core. I think it's about £20.
$29.
I mean, there you go. Yeah, so £25
US bucks. $30. So you've got XN, N, and Core. They're different versions, and I'll show you. I'm looking at this, and you guys aren't. There we go. It's just how it's pinned and stuff is different.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it, because you won. Yeah, so...
Yeah, I might actually even get myself one of those. Now, I got a weird email today from them saying that my order is going to come tomorrow. Hello. I've already got it.
It went the wrong way around the globe.
It's like the module. You're going to get a second one for free, right? So
yeah, do you remember that thing that I got? What was it? The...
Or EXT box? Was it a module?
Yeah, that's box? It. The EXT box. I got a second one for free. Yeah, that was cool. And do that, manufacturers, please. I like that.
Darren's got the U6 through box. They do a WIDI version of that as well. They do a WIDI version of that. So
here it is. Here it is.
So you can WIDI one device to that, and then that does the splitting out into all the different. Yes, the through 6 BT. Which is a clever little. I know Jim Glue. I think Jim's got the same one as Darren's got. But yeah, you can use that as a WIDI connection.
That is actually pretty cool.
I mean, $69.99. It's just
cheap stuff, isn't it? It really is. Yeah. Oh, I'm actually glad that you've cleared that up about the XVIVE, because I thought, oh no, here we go, someone's copying it, like the other company that we always mention.
There are unofficial copies. I actually sent one to them the other week that came up in my Facebook feed, and I thought that doesn't look like an official thing. And when I sent it to them, they said no, that is a cheap copy.
Send the cops around.
Especially Amazon. You see Chinese knockoffs all the time of everything. So it's just...
It sounds like a Windows error. That's on the Electro. Guys, all I'll say is that, like, I really want you to believe me when I say this. I literally did not touch this stuff. I sat here in a week. I opened it for the first time. I plugged it into the MRC. So you guys saw me do that. I never even... I didn't contact Robbie, and he gave me the lowdown. He's there if you don't believe me.
It's true,
it was absolutely dead piss easy to get this up and running. Yeah. It was that easy. The only thing that challenged me was finding the dongles for the Electro.
I'm thinking of doing it for my two Waldorfs, which are right up the top here. You can't see them outside. because just to run MIDI cables all the way round, wrapping it round to everything, just to get them to there, is just going to be a pain. And that's why they're not actually MIDI'd up, so they're just sitting there and doing nothing. But since I got that CME box, which is really working good for the live rig, and now you've got the WIDI. I remember Robbie doing it a little bit back, showing it when he had his, like you said, with the 2 sets, when he had the 2 Jaspers either side and he had it WIDI'd.
Yeah, and he's
so I was thinking of doing it for them. Yeah, and maybe even the Orbit, which is up there as well.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's the thing.
That's
like,
how I know whether it kept the.
When I've got stuff here on my desk in front of me, like I don't want to have to keep dragging a MIDI cable over every single time, because I might, like, I've got one connected to the Pro 800 right here. It's a wired MIDI cable, right? I'll show you.
Yeah,
that is that physical.
You
MIDI
try
cable.
to put it out of the way, don't you? Which means you wrap it round things, and then when you want to unplug it, you've got to unwrap it round everything.
MIDI cables can also introduce RF noise through your gear as well, so you've got to be careful. Like if that cable was, touching electrical and it's got RF coming in, I've seen some stuff make noise through MIDI, and I'm like, wow, that's weird. So this would probably eradicate some of that. Like one of the biggest things that I did when I was putting this new studio room, it's not new anymore, but when I first moved in here, was I decided that I wanted to use ADAT for all the connectivity around here to eradicate any RF impedance and electrical sort of crosstalk noise in my studio, and it did. And Bluetooth MIDI is also going to be huge in that as well, because you don't have any physical conductivity between 2 devices. It's done digitally.
Well, that would be slightly my problem, you see, because even though it doesn't look very far from my desk to here, to actually put a cable to wrap round so it's not in the way, I'm looking at 3 meters just to get to here.
Yeah, maybe
whichever way I go round.
Yeah,
and it's got to go past plugs and God knows what.
Yeah. Well,
but we're only talking about a few connections. What if all the gear needed to be connected? It's a lot of Bluetooth transmissions at the same time, and if your neighbors have a lot of Bluetooth too, how will it work? Will we get some trouble? What can you say, Robbie?
I can't say anything in terms of sort of critical testing with a number of units in a radio frequency heavy arena, whether it's whether you're in a domestic situation or a live situation. All I can say is I've seen WIDI used live, big concerts, guitars on stage, connecting to devices off stage, with hundreds of people in that room, all of them with mobile phones, all operating, most of them probably operating Bluetooth at some point or whatever. The 2.4 gigahertz is a pretty crowded place
Apple
at the moment.
Watches,
but I've not heard any horror stories of anybody not being able to connect. Although, like you say, if I was to connect every single device in this room with a dongle, a Bluetooth a WIDI dongle, then I would anticipate, if it wasn't radio interference, I'd anticipate some setup issues, because there's just so many devices, and you'd have to go through and name each one, and then ensure that it's pairing with the right ones. But once you've got through that, but maybe it's something I will try once I've got everything settled in here. I mean, I've got about, I don't know, a dozen or more WIDI devices, so I could connect all of them up. I'll tell you what I wanted to do, and I'm not going to do it until I've done the Synthfest seminar, because I don't want to mess anything up. But I'll get my QX1, which has got 8 MIDI outs, and I'll get my TX816, which has got the 8 MIDI ins, and I'll put 8 WIDI masters in one and 8 WIDI masters in the other, and then send 8 streams of data from the QX1 to the TX816 and see what happens there. And I'll just keep doing it and see if I notice any dropouts, latency, or anything like that. I would imagine probably not, but then that would be a good way to do it, because they'd all be sat right next to each other.
Well, that's kind of, Robbie, that's kind of like what I plan to do here. So all of those DIN cables that are next to that WIDI, I plan to replace as many of them as I physically can with a master. I probably won't even need as many as as that, because that one master will handle up to 4, right? So there's that's solving one problem already. It's actually, it's giving me 4 times the connectivity. But what you were saying before about worrying about connectivity, one of the benefits with the MRCC now is that I've got each of those physical ports come up as as ports, not channels, that one. They come up as 16 different ports in here as separate MIDI devices as such, right? So I'm only running it at the moment through port 1. I could run it through any of these. They're all virtual ports, right? And then you don't have any issues with your devices. It's probably a bit hard to see because it's very small graphics, but trust me, these are all ports here that I'm scrolling through. Then you've got the ability to route ports to devices. You can have groups of devices sitting in those ports. So, up to 16 MIDI channels on each, that's heaps. That you just think about how many devices you can have running through it. With the MRCC, you're not going to run into problems with the WIDI itself ecosystem, because you won't need, in my situation, I won't need to set up hubbing them. I'll just use the MRCC to control that. But then I've now got that up my sleeve if I want to go even further. So it just gives me even more scope. So to me, it's a no-brainer. This was a very, very simple decision to make. And testing it, all I needed to do was test it to see how quick it was responding.
I've actually had no problems with Bluetooth stuff because I got, the WIDI, I've got the X key, I've got Roly stuff, I've got the Orba. They all do Bluetooth very, very well. Although some companies are kind of weird about that. They like Aodio for Anima Phi, they made a control box for it that uses a special radio frequency. They didn't want to mess with Bluetooth. So some companies aren't going down that road, but I've used a lot of Bluetooth stuff. It's great. So
the thing is with Bluetooth 5, which is what WIDI uses, is you've got 40 channels within that within the Bluetooth signal, and what it will do is it will always look for the best, clearest channel, and it's doing it all the time. So whilst your 2 devices are connected, they're constantly scanning to make sure that they've got the best connection with the least interference, and they will channel hop within that band to make sure they're always doing it, and it's doing it all the time. And that's one of the tricks that CME exploited and have enhanced with their own little kind of custom bolt-on, is to make that really rapid and really strong connection. So they've done a lot of good stuff. I mean, when we first started talking about this, how many was it, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
There was a lot of skepticism around it, and rightly so, because it had been done before and not very well. And here we are 3 years later, and I still haven't heard anyone. I mean, there are 1 or 2 devices. I think Andy said earlier there are a few devices that do not output the correct voltages. So MIDI standard says 3.3 or 5 at the MIDI output, but not everyone follows the MIDI standards. And I mean, I was testing them on everything. When I got the modal stuff in, they weren't working on some of the modal stuff, but that was just a little thing in firmware. Yeah. And I put them together. I put those 2 people together, and within about a week or so, they'd got a firmware update and it's fixed. So,
well, I think we know that too, Robbie, because I think any of us have had those MIDI solution through boxes that were powered off MIDI only. You'd know that some devices just won't power those through boxes. Yeah. And then you'd just go, okay, I'm not gonna use it with that because obviously, and I think sometimes they just don't. Whoever the engineers that put these things together, they probably don't go, oh, we need to monitor to make sure that voltage is perfect coming out of MIDI. They probably just think, MIDI doesn't need it. That's crap. Leave it alone.
A lot of the time, it's just grounding. They're not grounding the MIDI output, and that's all it is.
Sometimes
so it works fine with the cable, but
sometimes it's the way that they've shared the current across multiple things that the device is doing, and it just doesn't have enough current coming out of the MIDI. So
there's no requirement for a stamp on the back of your machine to say this machine is MIDI compliant.
Yeah,
and therefore everyone cheats a little bit here and there, and they do something slightly differently. But I'll tell you what, the other thing that CME did that I thought was a very cool and very simple move, right from the get-go, they put a publicly shareable spreadsheet up on Google Docs and said, for every device that you test, list it here whether it works or not, and if it doesn't work, we'll look into it. And then they, in the next firmware update, something will get changed and it will begin to work. Or if it's something that's out of their hands, they will try and get in touch with the manufacturer. But they actively encourage their users to go on and list every single device that they've tried it out on. And these are people playing not just synthesizers, but very latency critical things like E-drums. I've tried them out on my E-drums. They're great. I use an Alesis mesh kit connected to a MacBook Pro running Superior Drummer 3, and I'm playing feet, hands, the lot. Maybe not great, but I'm playing, and it works. Because latency is critical on that. It's also critical on the MIDI wind instruments, like the EWIs and the Yamaha W7s and stuff like that, or whatever it is. It's hypercritical, and they're all going for it. Guitarists are really into it because they can MIDI up all their pedals, and that's working very well. And isn't there a Bluetooth button that guitarists are using? They're like sticking it on, and they can then just tap the button on the guitar, and it will change their rig settings and everything. It's very cool.
I think the first, I was doing some research actually, and I couldn't really find the right answer, but I think the first Bluetooth or wireless MIDI device on the market was for a guitar. And it came out maybe about a year before the Yamaha and Roland ones came out. So it was they kind of snuck that in just first. So guitarists have the, we got it first.
They're naturally mobile performers, and so cables are a big issue for most of us, or most keyboard players would stand behind a rig and be happy to be in the shadows. But apart from the guitar players, and of course they're over the moon now. Can
you imagine like Laurie Anderson's show, Home of the Brave, back in the 80s, if she had CME WIDI stuff back then? How cool would it have been?
And she was crazy enough without it,
Yeah.
One funny thing about the hesitance, I think a lot of people are hesitant to get the Bluetooth stuff for MIDI because even though MIDI and audio are totally different specs, the experience I have with the Bluetooth audio a lot of times, because it is more data and you have that round trip because you're creating music and listening back to it, which is why the headphone jack removal on iPhones is ridiculous if you do music on iOS, because it's impossible. Even with Bluetooth 5 devices, it's impossible to use properly because it's too much latency. But MIDI is just that one-way thing, so it's not really that issue at all. So that's why MIDI works so great with Bluetooth.
That's funny you should say that, though. I mean, that's the next thing that the guys are working on. And I've actually seen a physical demonstration.
That'd be cool,
of the IWA system. So CME are working on Bluetooth-based audio. It's not technically Bluetooth, but it kind of is. It's kind of a subset, really. But they are claiming, just as they did with WIDI, something like a 3 millisecond latency.
Wow.
On their audio.
It's off to them if they can do that. Yeah.
It's
don't
very
get me
close
started.
to being public.
There's two things I would love for like wireless and internet audio to do. One is what you guys were talking about with getting it wireless in some sort of way, and then you could have imagine this, virtual mixers. Like you would literally just have all of these audio devices coming into your computer without any cables. Imagine all the money you'd save, like Darren's just bought a whole bunch of cables. Imagine all the money you'd save on cables. And the other one that I would love is to be able to jam with mates on the internet without latency. Like they've got close.
And you also would slowly get rid of having to have different cables from 2.5 mil, 3.5 mil, 5 picked in, TRS, TS. It'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that they had to debate when they were doing WIDI, and particularly the jacks. What do we use? Where do because there's 2.5 mil, 3.5 mil, etc., etc. And in the end, they just went with the WIDI Association standard for TRS, which is 2.5. Although it seems that standard is mostly ignored by the rest of the industry. But
but they do offer that. They offer that. I could have bought the jack. With the 2.5 to 3.5 cables. Well, I chose to buy it with the DIN because I thought that was probably more likely something that would be more useful. It just happened that I chose the Electro in the show, and then all of a sudden, well, I still worked around it. They got the dongles already, so big deal. But you can. I mean, this cable here is actually 2.5 to 3.5. So 2.5 on that side, and 3.5 on the little right-angled thing. And I think I remember buying that for something specifically to do with MIDI and TRS at the time. So I can't remember what it was. There was something that I bought that was 2.5.
They said somewhere, I can't remember where now, that not all, it's a bit like USB cables where some work for data and power, and some just do data and some just do power. It's a little bit the same with audio cables, and I think they put a little caveat on their website saying not all audio cables will work, but they do actually provide a wiring diagram on their website. So if you want to make your own cables that will work, you can do that.
So there's a few other sort of gotchas with the wireless. So just Robbie touched on it before, but one of the issues with wireless is depending on what. In my case, I've just used WIDI to WIDI, which is what Robbie said. That's going to work the best, right? But in some cases, you're going to want to use the Bluetooth embedded into your laptop or into your Mac or whatever. And there are some hurdles, I believe, with people with that, and that's where there's a little bit negative press about it. It's not WIDI that's causing that problem. It's Windows or it's Mac or it's an older Mac.
Mac's not so bad. Windows. Most of the people I've spoken to have had trouble. Kent being one is Windows Bluetooth being an absolute dog. Apparently it's getting better with Windows 11, but I don't know because I don't have one. But again, it's another reason to buy one of those and just stick that in your USB port and you just connect direct.
Solved. Yeah.
Oddly, Windows Bluetooth is okay with audio, just not with MIDI.
The one that surprises me that it's actually really good is Android Bluetooth. It's always been up there. So if you guys have got Android devices, tablets, phones, I started when I got this 5 years ago from Yamaha. I started testing, a whole bunch of different products out, and Android was the winner. And it seems to be continuing that way. And I think Samsung are probably big on the forefront of that for its development because they're a big, massive electronic company. So, if you guys have got Samsung phones or Samsung tablets and the Android platform, you're not going to have any major issues if they're pretty recent tech. They're going to be Bluetooth 5.
It's also worth pointing out to configure WIDI, you must have an iOS or an Android device.
Yes.
I have a spot, 2 spots actually, each day when I go to work and use Bluetooth on my Samsung Android. 2 spots where it always drops out. One of the spots is
that the NSA building?
Just next to, outside on the road, next to the big studio at my work, a TV studio with lots of transmission gear stuff. And the other place is just next to the metro station, which I don't understand why it happens there, but I'm thinking if I ever get a set of WIDI adapters, it might be a good place to check them, to test them, to see if I can get them to drop out.
It's always good to ask someone that works in those places. Like we had a similar thing happen. They built this new, it's not on an existing site. It was a big shopping centre near us, and they built this massive, huge expansion on it, and it ended up being one of the biggest in our area. But the first thing that happened was that we'd go shopping in this new, wandering around all the new shops and and it's all brand new and the first thing that you notice is the mobile phone reception was absolutely lousy, and you'd be going into stores and you couldn't text your wife saying, "Oh, I'm in the sports department," no signal. And you talk to people that work there and they go, "Oh yeah, we can't use our phones." And then I'm like, I wonder if it's like the store owner who's put one of those blockers in, because you can buy blockers that
I think
will
movie theaters have done that to a certain extent.
That will stop people from using their phones in certain parts of the store, so that, like, for example, that if you go into there's a massive sports store in this shopping centre. If you go right at the back, where all the staff entrance in the warehouse at the back, where you buy your shoes, that's literally where you can't use your phone. But if you walk closer to the front of the store, where all the the clients are, it works. So you think about it, conspiracy theory going on here. No, they've just chucked a blocker in there so that the staff can't play.
The other problem
whatever.
too is a lot of construction acts like a Faraday cage, so
Could be that too, yeah. But check with your IT guys that work in those areas. They're usually the first people to tell you what's going on. They'll say, "Oh, yeah, it's definitely something up here, and we think it's this." So, Henrik, if you got a mate or something that works in IT at the railway station, maybe check to see if they know about it, because they're usually onto it.
Yeah. I have an idea that it's someone in an apartment next to the station who's having some gear that transmits a lot. I don't know what it is, if it is Bluetooth or if he's a radio amateur or something like that. In the studio, I understand why, because there are a lot of wireless connections for microphones. It's a TV studio, so there's a big setup there on transmitters.
Does it transmit? They're probably blocking it so they don't get interference too. There could be that.
It could be why.
Yeah. Because I know in some military establishments they have radio wave blockers, and
remember the scene in Spinal Tap with the guitar at the airbase?
Yeah. Oh, so many
Original
Spinal Tap
Synths
references.
just made a comment in the chat about wishing that they would do like a right-angled WIDI unit, so that for places where you can't fit the regular one. And this, what you've got there, Ranz, the WIDI jack, is the ideal solution, because the plugs then become this small.
Yeah.
And I had the exact issue on my Essence FM. So the MIDI ports are on the back, hidden away, and you couldn't fit a regular WIDI master and plug in to those sockets, but you can fit those two next to each other, absolutely fine. And then because the WIDI, because the Essence has got a metal case, then that just sticks to it magnetically and just it literally just sits underneath. So there really isn't a it's, you can pretty much
Master
do
out
anything
is
you
long.
like with those.
It's a long plug.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is, but it's not as long as the BT as the Yamaha ones. It's shorter, isn't it, Ranz?
Yep.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's
Yamaha
Yeah,
one.
it's a little fatter all the way along, whereas the Yamaha one's sort of like
Okay, I'll show you.
Monty Python Brontosaurus, but
Yeah, I'll show you. We shall look at this.
yeah. Theory about Brontosaurus. thin at one end, and then much bigger in the middle. Yeah, you see it. Even with the.
I'll plug it in. Actually, it'll be a better. There we go. So.
Yeah, it's a good
Oh,
half an
yeah,
inch
look at
more. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Roland is about the same as the Yamaha?
Got to come all the way back
yeah,
here.
it looks like
It
it,
sticks
yeah.
out about 2 fingers. 2 fat fingers. It's a technical term. No, it sticks out about. That I should do it that side, about that much further more. So
Yeah.
it's
And
whether
it's
that's
only
an
Bluetooth
issue.
4, so it sucks.
But like Roger said, you just use these. They come with it.
Yeah.
These little.
I mean, I think Original Synth is saying that the cable is fixed. Well, yes, it is fixed. It obviously has to be fixed, but it will bend, and they're molded in there, so you're not going to do any damage to that. And if it really is an issue, then I would suggest maybe getting some sort of extension dongle that you can just plug in and then plug those into that. I mean, some synths aren't going to be too
Do they
friendly
offer little
in
coil
terms of,
cable upgrades so you can have them stretch out?
Well, I was going to
not a
suggest this,
coiled
guys.
one, no.
I was going to suggest this. And the reason
I
why I
have
brought
some
this
cables.
the reason why I brought this
I have
up
some cable. Yeah.
was because it has a adjustable where that cable comes out, right? So you can undo these screws right? And you can either have it coming out that way or that way. And there's even new ones now that have got 4 positions. So maybe CME could adopt something like that with something like that. Anyway, Henrik, go.
Yeah, I just have some cables. I can't bring it closer to the camera because it's connected on the in the other end. But it can
We could say
it can connect like turn like this.
Yeah.
So now I've taken it off, so it's actually just a cable like this. With I don't know what you call this.
like a
Now it's
cradle
broken.
thing. Did you break
Yeah.
it? Oh no.
It doesn't matter. Now it's even easier to fit.
Yeah.
So
Because there's always
help.
going to be a couple of cases in any situation, whether it
Yeah.
be cable or WIDI or any other situation. There's never going to be 100% perfect.
And
There's always
there
going to
are
be
some
some case at some point it doesn't work.
Some instrument manufacturers will have the Diddy. Did I just say Diddy? The WIDI. The MIDI. Words are difficult today. So they have Diddy. Yeah.
it's actually the word witty. It's like witty in Danish, which means funny.
Oh,
And my age,
The Diddy Widdy MIDI.
but if you look at the sockets on the back of some synths, the orientation of the MIDI socket is either that way.
Yep.
Or sometimes it's that way,
Yeah.
and then what can you do? It's so there is always going to be the odd, And so I had that with the Essence FM, and so using the WIDI jack was absolutely ideal. Of course, many devices have USB sockets only for MIDI, and of course there's a WIDI for that as well. The U-host, you can use the U-host for that.
Yep.
So you can use your USB connection for MIDI on a synth rather than the MIDI port. So if that helps, that's another option.
I mean, even that solves problems in a different problem as well. That solves like people have those MIDI controllers that literally just have the one USB port on the back, and you're thinking to yourself, I can't use that unless I've got USB. But now you can use it with a WIDI, and you can connect it to anything that's got the WIDI jack. That's cool. All right, I think we should wrap it up. Just double checking. Okay, so the original synth said the same thing. Cool, awesome. I don't know if how often you talk to CME, Robbie, but I can send you some more information about that. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But I reckon that there's another one you can get that actually rotates as well, and it clicks in.
If you're part of the CME WIDI Facebook group, which you ought to be, because there's a lot of good information on there from people that use it. And Henrik, maybe you would get some benefit from speaking to others on there as well. Thomas Gerbrands, who we had on the show a while back, who's the kind of the European guy for CME. If you send him that information, they'll happily look at it. But yeah, I mean, I speak to Thomas every now and again and say I got the we met him secretly at Super Booth, and he showed us some cool things.
When I did the you guys go back onto the footage and have a look before, like earlier, but when I was connecting it to the edge, the cables came this way, and they kind of got in close to here, so that was a little bit annoying. So that in that situation,
it's like a modular experience.
Yeah. So that would help in that situation. And there's going to be things that, like the guys in chat have been saying, it's stuff at the back, stuff going down, stuff going up. Sometimes you don't want your cables sticking up as well, like an antenna. So yeah, all those things will help. Awesome. All right, thanks Robbie for coming on and explaining it. Yeah,
Henrik, no worries, my pleasure, mate.
Before we wrap it up, I have something else to say. If it's okay.
You want it full screen?
Yeah. It's okay. It's It's because I've talked about this before. I bought these pads, which are soft pads, and not the original ones which is in hard plastic. And I bought them because I sweat a lot on my ears here in the summertime, and these are so good, so good. So I bought them in a Chinese shop for $5 or something like that.
Yep.
And they worked perfectly. I guess they exist for all phones, but especially these phones, you usually sweat a lot on, sweat a lot in. And I also bought this head thing, which just is a zipper. It's just zipped above there, and I bought this because it was beginning to
peel.
Yeah, turn bad. The plastic was going bad, so I can't hear you. I don't have the phones on, so I don't know if you're saying something. And this is great too. I really don't sweat anymore in these phones, so it's just such a good thing to buy if you have that problem with your phones. And now I can hear you.
I think we were talking about that when we did the headphone show a few years back. But
yeah,
I had
but I didn't have the experience then.
Yeah, I had a pair of or the same headphones as you, and I did exactly the same thing. I got rid of the plastic leather-like thing because it just always used to get sweaty, and the thing peels as well. Like all the plastic just peels.
Yeah.
And but now I've got these, which come with nice, what would you call it, material pads.
Type stuff, isn't it?
Robbie, I think you got the same, haven't you? Yeah,
I've got the DT770s. These will come off, and I will exactly like that. You can hand wash them. Just put them in a little bit of soapy water and soak them overnight, and then drain them out, dry them off, and they're as good as new. And you can probably get maybe, because I'm like you, Henrik, I get all hot and batty around my ears, and I'm going to get the black ones next though, because they do eventually start to go a very sort of pale shade of green.
Yes, like mine.
Which doesn't look pleasant.
Yes. Booger green.
My old ones of these just got hard, extremely hard. So
crunchy. Yeah, you
was like having cork on your ears.
So you can replace them. They're not that expensive actually. Yeah. They're pretty good.
No.
One of the things that I'm not sure if I like it, or it's a bit like you've got the long bit and then you've got the bendy bit, right, on the cable. So I bought a cable replacement for these, but unfortunately the only way to do it is to actually get the soldering iron out and replace it that way, which is a bit of a pain for some people who don't like to do that. So yeah. Anyway, we could probably do that on another show, guys, I think.
The Can Sweat channel is
the Can Sweat channel. That's it. All right. Anyway, everyone get your Bluetooth gear out and have a play with Bluetooth during the week.
Wiggle your widdies.
Yeah, play with your widdies. Press record. Don't forget to do that. Finishing the show. Say hi to your mum for me and enjoy the rest of your week. And
have a good one.
Have a good one. I'm going to end it. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'll take care.
Bye-bye.
I'll have a good one. Take care.